Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm sorry, I had to go and grab some coffee. Good morning. How is everyone doing? Hi, Gwen. Hi, Wisco Gal. Good morning. I am so much to catch up on. Good God Almighty. It's a lot. So, how was everybody week? We have a new pope. We have a new pope. It took 2 days to elect our pope. My goodness. So, our new pope, okay? We have Cardinal Robert, what's his name? Cardinal Robert Prevost, 69 years old. He's American. And it took 2 days. But then there is some more interesting things about the Pope. Hi, Wendy. How are you doing? Are you about to leave for work? Wendy's front yard and Wendy. Okay. Wendy is about to leave for work. We'll listen until I get to work. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for listening. Marcia E., I missed you too. I really did. I had to take care of a lot of stuff, and next week will be the same way. I am excited. Good morning, sister. Sister, I almost called you last night, but I realized it was late for you. So I said I was going to call you today, which I am going to call you today. Um, I just I had a lot of stuff going on, but I'm excited about the new pope. So somebody took it upon themselves, well, a few people took it upon themselves to trace the pope's ancestry. Guess what, sister? The pope has ties to New Orleans. Yes, he does. Uh, let's see. Let me get this here. See, can't even think right now. It's only been a week.
And this story right here is fascinating. Records show that Pope Leo also has
Pope
black
Leo
family
the
roots in New
14th.
Orleans. ABC News uncovered U.S. Census records from the early 1900s that shows the first American pope's family tree. Both of his maternal grandparents identified themselves as black or mulatto in several census documents. His two aunts also identified as black. On their marriage license, his grandfather listed his birthplace as Haiti. However, his birth
Seventh
records show he
Ward.
was born
Yep.
in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. The birth records of the Pope's grandmother show she was born in New Orleans. However, in 1920, after the family migrated to Chicago, they marked down their race as white. It appears like so many
So many people in Louisiana. Seriously. Mulattoes, mix, they can pass. I have a picture of my grandmother, which I'm going to show you. My grandmother. I'm going to show you my grandmother right now. My dad's mom. And Provost. Yep, gave it away. But I have a picture of my grandmother. And I'm going to show you my grandmother who was mulatto. And a lot of people back then, during those times, if they were able to pass, that's what they would do. So let me get this picture of my grandmother. Hold on a second. Let me get a picture of my grandmother. Damn it, damn it, damn it. This is a picture of my grandmother. Let me get this camera. That's a picture of my grandmother and my aunt. So, a lot of people back then would actually pass for white and they would change it to white.
families fleeing the South at that time. They shifted their racial identity. So many people talking about this online. I mean, it's just fascinating to see his lineage.
Absolutely, and very interesting in terms of his role as, a bridge builder between cultures. I think that's to me that's the takeaway here, where
He's
he has
69
this
years
history,
old.
his family, and he is now in this position, a worldwide position where he's there and can kind of bridge cultural gaps in so many different ways.
Yeah, and just in talking to many Black Catholics in the Chicago area, this is a story that certainly resonates with them. So we'll be sure to stay on top of it with this new revelation here.
So I'm excited about the new Pope. I really am, but I really haven't had. And he's a White Sox fan. I'm originally a Southsider. I'm excited and not even Catholic. So I haven't really dug into him to see who appointed him as Cardinal, how long he had been Cardinal or anything, because like I said, it's been crazy. I've been up, down, down, up, down, down. Hi, Bonero. Hi, my sweetie. And so I have to look more into that. But I just wanted to share with you guys that he has roots in New Orleans. And they were listed, his family is Black. And Provost, yes, that name gives it away. But 69 years old, it took 2 days to elect him. So not only that, but I wanted to say also that it's not the shortest time, because if a pope died, they would elect a new pope right then and there. This was back in the 17th century. So they would elect a new pope that day. Over the centuries, things have changed where they give a 10-day period to allow for the cardinals to travel to the Vatican for the conclave. And that's how all that came about. But I have a thumbnail already ready to discuss the conclave. And once I get everything done, in another week or so, I will come live and we will discuss the conclave and everything else. Yes, Habanero is our sister from another mister. Habanero had me cracking up yesterday. But anyway, so I am just really, really excited for him. And his brother, they interviewed his brother. So then there's a little thing on him when he was in Peru. Pope Francis, thank you, Wendy, because I didn't get a chance, but somehow or another, I thought it, hi, my son, I thought it was Pope Francis. I thought it was. I really, really did. I thought it was. Happy Saturday, sweetie. Happy almost Mother's Day. Uh-huh. All right. All right. I'm looking for a good meal. So, and all that jazz. All right. But no, so Pope Leo, he's had all kind of missions, but they really focus on his time in Peru. So hold on a second. Let me get this for you. And then we're going to talk about this Karen Reed trial. Oh my God, we're going to talk about Karen Reed, because right about now, I am seriously thinking this woman was set up. The testimony on Friday with this officer, Sergeant, his last name kills me. He, through that prosecuting team, I think he hurt their case. And then when I was looking, it's not just me that thinks he hurt their case. A lot of commentators, even the news stations, are saying he hurt their case. I believe that woman was set up. I really do.
As Pope Leo XIV introduced himself to the world,
a mi querida diócesis de Chiclayo en el Peru.
The Holy Father quick to highlight his ties to South America, speaking directly to his former diocese in Peru in Spanish. Though the new pope is from the United States, he has spent about a third of his life in South America and holds dual Peruvian citizenship.
Once the Holy Father began speaking in Spanish, what message did that send to all Latin America?
Okay, I think that he's telling us that he is in Rome, that he will be the Pope, but he will never forget his poor people in Peru.
Father Jose Luis Menendez, Miami, on the significance.
It's a wonderful blend. It's like a cocktail. And the cocktail has two things. One from my own country, one who serves my people also.
Peruvians today overwhelmed with emotion.
What was your reaction to seeing the Father?
Oh, para mí fue una gran alegría.
For me, it was a great joy, an emotional moment, this woman tells me, saying she was with her son, who broke out in tears. Then a young priest, Robert Prevost, first came to Peru in 1985 as a missionary, where he spent 14 years supporting the community and spreading the beliefs of the Augustinians, the 13th century religious order founded by St. Augustine. He returned to Peru again in 2014 at the request of Pope Francis.
And St. Augustine is in New Orleans. St. Augustine's, Jesus, okay.
Becoming an administrator and eventually the Archbishop of Chiclayo, the capital city of the nation's northwestern Lambayeque region. His relationship with Francis, the first pope from the Americas, was a warm one.
I knew him when he was Archbishop of Buenos Aires. He's a man who, on the one hand, is very simple and very profound in his faith, but he's a hard worker.
Francis brought then Cardinal Robert Prevost to Rome in 2023 to preside over the Pontifical Commission for Latin America.
It's not coincidental that Pope Francis chose me. I've been a missionary my whole life, and I was working in Peru.
Today, as the news of the new pope spread throughout the world, bells rang out in his beloved Peru.
Qué alegría, qué alegría. Realmente es una
Well, I'm thinking it took them 2 days. That means they already knew who they were going to put there. They had already talked about it. They had already decided. They just had to get 2/3 of the vote.
This woman in Lima, overjoyed by the announcement. She says she hopes Prevost will continue the legacy by Pope Francis, adding it's an indescribable joy to have a Peruvian pope. And in Chiclayo, residents gathering at the cathedral to celebrate their hometown hero. We wish him the best, this woman says. If he ever comes here, the hearts of all the people of Chiclayo will be open to him.
Sin duda ama al Perú.
The current bishop also offering his support, saying Leo wants to talk with the poor and the periphery, just as Francis did.
And George Solis joins us now from Miami. So, George, what are some of those people you spoke to hoping to see from this new pope?
Wendy. That means he holds
Yeah, Ellison, a lot of the people I
value.
spoke with say they wonder if the new pope will be a reformer, much like his predecessor,
Yes, he
Pope
will
Francis.
be.
They're hoping that
Are
he is
you
a pope
seeing that?
of kindness, compassion,
Are you excited about our new pope? I know you are. I know you are. You have to be.
a healer. They also wonder if he will share the same love of football as Pope Francis did. They know he is a baseball fan, but above all else, Ellison, what most people want to know is that he is a pope for the people.
Yep. He's a pope for the people. That's what I'm excited about. So let's talk about this Karen Reed shit. Who's been watching the Karen Reed case? Who's been watching? That's what I want to know. Because right about now, with and then finding out that Proctor, which we already knew that, they're trying to downplay his role, Sergeant Proctor, in the investigation. And I think he totally screwed up this case. Then we have Higgins, who was sexting Karen Reed. They showed the fight in the bar, or the altercation in the bar. But when Sergeant, his last name goes away from me, gets up on the stand, and they're trying to get him to say that Karen Reed's car hit O'Keefe's car that was parked there, he said he didn't see any movement. But they keep trying to pin him down, and they're saying, didn't you say in the investigation before that that you saw movement with the tire? And he could not get him pinned down. So hold on a second. Let me show you this. So we're on day 12 of the trial. It started 2 weeks ago. I think it's day 12 of the trial. But yesterday, it was all Yuri. I can't think of his last name at all. I can't think of it. But Yuri was on the witness stand yesterday. And he gave them a run for their money. Hold on. Let me get this. Okay. Yuri was there yesterday. Yuri's a nice looking man. Oh my God, Charlie's sending love. If you want to come up, I'll drop the link for you. So let me tell you, I was really impressed with seeing you on MRE's panel and the way you handled that whole situation. That was my first time actually seeing fumble or hearing him on MRE's panel, I learned something new, and I was like, oh my goodness. But let me tell you something that really upset me. The night I was in Watcher of Crazy's live, and she was doing the whole thing on JT, okay? I understand that people get emotional, okay? I understand that. But when I heard her say that R word, and I'm going to spell it RETARD, to me, that was no better than the stuff that they say. But then I was definitely upset after knowing that you have talked about your autistic child. And we know back in the day that stuff was acceptable to say whatever. But still, if you're using the same terminology that they're using, that makes you no better than they are. And I was very shocked that she did that. Very shocked. And after, because I went in and I was listening for a bit, and that's when she said it. And I was like, nope, 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 nope. No, I don't. Hi, break. Hi, sweetie. Hi, break the silence. They matter. Hi, bombs. Crafting with Amanda. No, and I said it in her chat, and I left because that doesn't make. No, no. Especially knowing that you have an autistic child, and somebody else was in the chat one day and saying something about their child or their sister or whatever. No, you don't do that. Oh, not autism. I'm sorry. Somebody has autism. My son doesn't have autism. He has my brother had a lot of disabilities. Yes, that's what you were saying. Cerebral palsy. Your son has cerebral palsy. And I know you said that he had his enzyme levels were high. Did you get him to the doctor? Did they figure out what it was? Hi, Lauren. Good morning, my sweetie. Yeah, your son has cerebral palsy, but someone's child had disabilities. I remember seeing it. I remember reading it in the chat because they were all offended when JT was using the word. Everybody was upset when what's his name? Lee Cole said the word because I remember Eric Foss, because I caught a couple of his lives. Eric Foss actually mentioned that. I don't get into the R word. People that use RETARD to me are just disgusting. There are better ways to describe people than calling them that word. Okay, so you're waiting to see the specialist on the 20th. Okay. I just don't get into that. I really don't. So to say that, and knowing you have people that are your subs, you have people that have kids with disabilities. How could you say that? Okay, that's who. Hi, Pallets. How are you, sweetie? Long time no see, and I haven't been getting any notifications for any lives that you may have been doing. I haven't received any notifications. That's who it. I know somebody has special needs, and I couldn't remember. But using that word to me makes you no better than anybody else. There you go. Yeah, I don't like that word. I think when I was little, I don't even think my mother allowed us to use that word. Ever. Ever. So my cousin's son, who graduated last year, he used to play for LSU. His son, he has cerebral palsy and he has a form of autism. And he's a highly functioning young man. Oh, Palace, you've been sick. Oh, sweetie, I hope you're feeling better. Now, Bambi, I've heard you say that R word before. I've heard you say that. It was a while back, but I've heard you say it. Oh, damn. Yeah, that's not something I would do. You can say you're stupid, you can say this, but to say that R word, even if you're talking about what, it still shouldn't be accepted. Period. It just shouldn't be accepted. I have no idea. I have no idea, Mr. Jimenez. None. But I was really upset when I heard her say that. Okay. I was asking, Charlie, have you been watching the Karen Reed or listening to the Karen Reed trial? Oh, that's right. You have RA too. Okay, I remember that. And I haven't seen Amanda on TikTok crafting. I haven't seen it, but I did see a couple of videos I ran across. I know you don't. You definitely, Bambi. I don't claim to be a saint. No, you're not a saint, but no, you are. So it's just, I honestly was disappointed. I just was. I was disappointed. So that's all I'm gonna say on that, about that. I was just disappointed. But this sergeant's testimony, and I'm telling you, it had to hurt the prosecution. But then I'm trying to understand, and I wish Savage was here, because I need to understand about this dog, about the Albert's dog. Somehow or another, they lied about the Albert's dog. I don't understand what the hell they're talking about. Maybe I missed something. I haven't watched it, but I looked it up in a new, and saw she hit her hubby. But no, I don't think she did. And that was her boyfriend. The trial is crazy. After I heard the 911 call dispatcher's testimony, I was like, I'm done. So, Bambi, what do you think? You think she actually hit him? Well, the way she said it, she didn't say it. It was a question. She goes, I hit him? That's what she said. It wasn't like she was admitting to it. It was like, I hit him? I hit him? That's what she said. I think he got into that fight. I think that, and you're going to hear, this other guy was at the home that night. I don't think this guy was beaten. He was beaten. It's hard to deal with. Please take care of yourself. Stay as stress-free as possible. Yes, Pallets, please. Yeah, so she was saying, I hit him, I hit him. It was like she was asking. Oh, I hope you feel better soon, Pallets. And I've been busy with mom and dad lately. Okay. Because I remember one day you were on TikTok like a month ago and your mom was calling you. And you said, I have to go because my mom needs me. Yeah, that's how she made it sound in court. But that's not how she said it. It was like, I hit him? She was asking. So, but this guy's testimony right here, it just threw me. Well, I don't really want to do all of this, but okay, so let's listen to this little bit. They were both drunk. They showed the altercation at the bar. I think this man was beat. From his autopsy report and everything, I think he was beat. And the reason I'm saying that, because he had lacerations. They lied about where they found one shoe. They showed one shoe the day before, and then they tried to say the same shoe was found on the same spot, and they had to go back and correct themselves. I think this man was beaten. I really do believe he was beaten and left in that snow to die. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. I may be wrong, but that's my opinion. So, and then we have Proctor, who mishandled the whole case. And I think all of these people are friends. They have some kind of relationship to each other, and they're all trying to cover. Now, his mother testified as well, which I was trying to find a clip of his mother's testimony, and I'm going to have to find it. But they couldn't trace the handling of the evidence of his clothes, the stuff that was taken from the hospital. They showed the video of the bar in Canton where the altercation took place at. Okay. Even when she was backing out, they could not say that she actually hit his car. They couldn't say it. And then they couldn't have the evidence on the tail light. Who collected what? Who did what? So let's just go take a look.
From the first trial weighs in. Canton Confidential, the Karen Reed murder trial, starts right now.
A pretty intense week in court comes to a close in Denham. Good evening. I'm Glenn Jones.
I'm JC Monahan. Even in the second trial,
so wait a minute. So the coroner is saying, I was trying to find it because I had it. I had the abrasions. I had the findings from the autopsy. Now I can't find it. Yeah, you can always tell if a body was hit. There was nothing to his rib cage. Everything was upper. So if you're saying she hit him, you're saying that she backed up, he was on the ground, because everything is from the neck up. Well, he had an abrasion on his arm. And then they're saying because one shoe was found here, that's a telltale sign of someone being hit by a car. Stop it. And thank you. Thank you.
Information is coming to light each day. A total of 13 witnesses took the stand this week. You're looking at the first 12, whom we saw Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But yesterday and today, all eyes were on this man, State Police Sergeant Yuri Buchanan. He supervised the lead investigator in this case, the now former trooper Michael Proctor. Today, Buchanan was grilled by the defense about evidence that was collected.
These are pieces of taillight cover collected from Karen Reed's SUV. And there's questions about who collected each piece and when.
They found Chloe Sweets. They renamed the dog. The dog has been renamed. But see, Sweets, I don't know. What's the significance of Chloe? They said it's the Albert's dog. So maybe I've missed something along the way. But the dog has been found, is renamed, and I've missed something along the way with this damn dog. Maybe I missed some testimony because I really didn't pay too close attention to the first trial, except for bits and pieces, because even at the first trial, I said, I don't believe she actually did this. I believe it's a total setup. I could be wrong, but I don't know. Yes, Cora, that's the name. Sweets, if you want to come up, I will drop the link because I'm trying to see what's the significance of the dog. That's what they were saying. So do you believe that Karen Reed actually did this? Because I'm not getting a feeling she did it. Oh, you watched it. I know Savage is watching it, and I'm waiting for her to cover it because she's watching it. She has been into this Karen Reed's case, and so has Beauty by KK, because this happened where she's at. Good morning, George. Yep, because of the lacerations and everything. Yes, and the pooling of the blood around his eye and all this other stuff. I hope you're doing good. George, I saw you went live. I saw the notification, but by the time I went to look, It was gone. Look, it was gone. So I'll have to catch it. So, Sweets, you've been watching it. So the defense believes the dog attacked him. And that would kind of be in line with what the coroner is saying. I'm trying to find where I pulled the coroner stuff, okay? And I cannot find what he had stated. But they said that there was swelling. So something about when they went to the hospital, he had blood under his head that had soaked the sheets. He had swelling, discoloration, and blood pooling around his eyes. He had a small cut on the right eye, I remember, and his left nostril. You would be able to tell if that was from a car. Wouldn't you be able to tell if you were hit by a car? Who blocked you in whose chat? Wait a minute, baby. Who's blocking you, in my chat or George's chat? George has stated before not to block you. So I don't know who could be blocking you in his chat. See? Sweets, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think that she did this. I think, oh, Nate, Val Jewett just sent me a message. I don't think Karen did this, but I want you guys, these messages that were read in court. Hold on, let me go.
But the most contentious testimony came from these text messages. You're looking at messages sent between Karen Reed and ATF agent Bryan Higgins. Messages Buchanan, who wasn't involved in these conversations, was forced to read on the stand. The texts reveal a lot about the relationship between Reed and Higgins.
All right, let's bring in NBC 10's Melody Mendez live outside Norfolk Superior Court in Dedham. Melody, a lot to dissect from what's said in court today.
Yes, JC and Glenn, I'm glad you guys mentioned it because Virginia. Though there was only one man on the stand all day, there is a whole lot to cover, a lot to dissect. Here's a look.
Exactly.
Can you describe for the jurors exactly where each of the, let's take them one at a time, where each of the 6 pieces of plastic fragments were found?
It was all located in the general vicinity where it was initially excavated, but also where I was told Mr. John O'Keefe was found.
Did you seek to actually document where each item was found? In other words, by cross coordinates or some other such manner?
The exact location where each item was recovered from was not documented with a picture or GPS.
Jackson continuing to poke holes at the documentation of the evidence and the chain of custody. Who was in possession? Who had access? And again, the involvement of former trooper Michael Proctor. And more text messages came into focus today, this time texts between Karen Reed and ATF agent Bryan Higgins. He's one of the people the defense has argued could have been responsible for O'Keefe's death and was in the Albert home on the night in question. The texts, in the words of the defense, showed a sometimes flirtatious exchange.
You're hot. Are you serious or messing with me? No, I'm serious. Feeling is mutual.
In which Reed talks about the state of her relationship with John O'Keefe, referring to an incident on New Year's Eve.
Are you breaking up or staying together? I don't know. He hooked up with another girl on vacation. I am very close to his niece. It is a very up situation.
The texts referenced that Higgins and Reed kissed, with Reed eventually driving to Higgins' home on January 19th, but days later seeming to cut off the romantic interest. Then on the night in question, he sent her 2 more texts while they were in the same room at the Waterfall Bar. She didn't respond. The defense says Higgins was upset at being ghosted by Reed. Later in court, Sergeant Buchanan was pressed on why they never got Higgins' phone.
Did you become aware of a call that was made by Bryan Higgins at 1:35 a.m. while at Canton Police Department?
I am not aware of that, no. We never sought to get Brian Higgins' phone.
Even after you received...
See, they were all at the bar. All of them were at the bar. Higgins was jealous over Reed's relationship with O'Keefe. Even though they were still together, he cheated. I think things got heated. Hi, brown-eyed cutie. Good morning.
And read all of those text messages between him and Karen Reed.
Correct.
He was shown video of Reed's SUV seemingly hitting John O'Keefe's in the driveway of his home. Jackson asking the sergeant to clarify his testimony from last year.
She bumped it. She did bump it. Look. Watch. Hold on. Wait a minute. Where is it? She bumped it. Let me go back here.
You received and read all of those text messages between him and Karen Reed.
Correct.
He was shown video of Reed's SUV seemingly hitting John O'Keefe's in the driveway of his home. Jackson asking the sergeant to clarify his testimony.
But it doesn't look, if she would have hit it, it would be on her side. You see how that bumper is right there? And you see how her Lexus, her GX, it's a GX7 I'm taking it because a friend of mine had that car. It would look like she would have scraped her sides right there. So he wasn't back there. And look at it. That tire didn't move, and they kept trying to get him to
testimony from last year.
Based on what you just saw in this video, do you believe that the SUV
Please, I dropped the link if you want to come up. Because you can fill me in on stuff that I missed.
Logically speaking, the two vehicles had to have come into contact for the tire to
Still
move.
checking up on Pastor
the
John
dog
Paul
that's gotten
Miller to
so
see
much
what else is
attention.
going on.
Did you learn that the Albert family had gotten rid of the dog?
See, here's the thing. They kept saying that they got rid of the dog. This man says, I'm not a dog lover. I don't know. Rehome it, whatever. They were hurting themselves.
Chloe.
We learned that they no longer cared for the dog. I don't know if get rid of is accurate.
So it's no longer with him, right?
Correct. They no longer own the dog.
Okay, so they got rid of it.
I hate that terminology. It was rehomed. But anyway, that one was there. And where is one of the testimonies is too long. And I really don't want to go there. Oh, here is his mother. I knew I flagged it.
So, good afternoon, Mrs. O'Keefe. Yeah. All right, Mr. Brennan, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Mrs. O'Keefe.
Good afternoon, Mr. Brennan.
Could you kindly introduce yourself to the jury?
My name is Margaret O'Keefe. I am John O'Keefe's mother.
Are you married?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Who are you married to?
John O'Keefe, Jr.
How long have you been married for?
Too long.
Oh, my God.
53 years.
I'm sorry, ma'am, I didn't hear you.
53 years.
Long enough?
How long have you lived in the area?
We moved to Canton 3 years ago.
Before you moved to Canton 3 years ago, where did you live?
Braintree.
How long had you lived in Braintree for?
50 years.
So 50 years. They've been there 3 years, so 53 years.
Did you begin your family in Braintree?
No, we lived in Mattapan first, and that's where my daughter was born. And then we moved to Braintree.
Your daughter was born when you were in Mattapan?
Mm-hmm.
Your daughter's name?
Kristen.
How many children did you have?
3.
You, Kristen and John?
And Paul.
Is Paul the youngest, the baby?
The baby.
Did you raise your children, how long were you in Mattapan before you moved?
Oh, my God. They lived in Braintree 50 years. They raised the kids in Braintree. She had her daughter in Manapee, okay?
To hear.
I'm sorry, repeat that?
How long did you live in Mattapan before you moved closer?
2 years.
And then the rest of the time you were in the area?
Oh, my God.
Tell me a little bit about your
Dumbass questions.
My daughter?
I'm going to have to go back and mark the testimony that I want you guys to hear. Just dumbass questions he was asking her at first. Just dumb. just completely dumbass questions. But I'll go mark the timestamps where I want you guys to hear this at. But then we have Bryan Kohberger. Come to find out, there were pictures on his phone of other students at Idaho, at the University of Idaho. You remember I told you when the case first happened that he had been on Reddit asking questions about, people that had committed crimes. How did you commit the crimes? Did you bring your weapons with you? Hi, Jen. Good morning. So here is something new that came out yesterday. And we haven't even gotten into court yet, but let's just go here. This guy was stalking. Anybody that keeps their people were going, well, no, he didn't do it. He didn't do it. He was stalking these people.
Gonzalez, father of Kaylee Gonzalez, who was one of the 4 kids murdered inside 1122 King Road. Steve, there's a lot of blockbuster revelations by NBC. One of the ones I found so upsetting was the allegation that these are pictures of University of Idaho girls on Bryan Kohberger's phone. Do you have any idea if Kaylee was among them?
I don't know, but I find it very telling that there was other students that are supposed to be.
I want you to listen.
I don't know.
By NBC. One of the ones I found so upsetting was the allegation that these are pictures of University of Idaho girls on Bryan Kohberger's phone. Do you have any idea if Kaylee was among them?
I don't know, but I find it very telling.
Okay, on the Naziah Harris case, Jarvis Butts. Okay, Jarvis Butts had been under investigation. Jarvis Butts had served time in prison for ordering an 8-year-old and a 2-year-old, well, 4-year-old of his ex-girlfriend, 2 ex-girlfriends, 2 different kids. Jarvis Butts, there was a complaint filed with CPS over several. There was no investigation done. The grandmother and the other aunt went to CPS because Jarvis had allegedly, and I believe it, assaulted another family member. Naziah's name was mentioned in that paperwork, but they never spoke to her. Okay? Never spoke to her. Jarvis Butts, the aunt, Shayna, she knew. She had 5 kids with Jarvis. You knew this man got out of prison for RN, hi Amber, for RN 2 minors, 8 and 4. Why would you bring this man in your home? I don't care if that's your baby daddy or not. I really don't care. Around your nieces, around other girls, knowing that he had a thing for younger girls. Still haven't found her body at all. People are now speculating that maybe he hid her someplace and she's going to have the baby. Well, shit, she would have had the baby by now. She would have had the baby by now. And if I'm facing murder charges, capital at that, I'm going to say, hey, here's where she's at. Go get her. She's not deceased. He killed that young girl.
There was other students that are supposed to be in their friend circles that are on that phone for sure.
And do you know anything more about what that mother, Angela Naveja's, with the daughter Ashlyn, who's best friends with Maddie? Do you know anything more about that child's story? I mean, that girl's story. You know, Ashlyn was supposed to spend the night there. It's just so upsetting to think what happened. Why didn't she?
I don't know the details on Ashlyn. I definitely know Ashlyn. I've met and hung out with her. We've done fundraisers together, and her mother. So, yeah, I know that she spent. You know, she used to be a roommate there. So, I'm a little surprised at how that night, but I'm not surprised that she would be over there and hanging out with the girls at all.
Boy, have you had a chance to talk with her since the revelation that she was supposed to be there and wasn't and decided not to?
He was stalking these kids. He had pictures in his phone of these young people?
No, and I just heard that she doesn't want to come back to Idaho, and now I've got a daughter who's going to Texas for college now, so I kind of understand how it feels for some of these side victims, that how they feel like they just don't feel safe, and they want to just run, get out of the area. So her saying that is kind of rang true with our daughter.
The internet search is alleged to be, Ted Bundy and then non-consensual violent sex. You've said that this stands out because of reports before from the Reddit survey that Bryan Kohberger sent out, as a criminology student, asking other criminals about their methods. Talk to me more about that.
Yeah, we got a letter and it had a phone number in there, and we called this individual, and he said he had been interviewed by Bryan, and he got the sense that Bryan was getting off on his story, and his story was basically he'd listen to a police scanner, wait for somebody to call the police on a domestic violence type thing, and then the male would be arrested, and then he would go into those neighborhoods, and that would be the house that he would rob. So he said that Bryan seemed to enjoy his story, and he said that he had he felt like he started enjoying certain aspects of his story, where he would talk about drunk females passed out, and he basically said, I could have done anything. I was just going for jewelry, going for money, going for whatever he was. But Bryan would call him back repeatedly and want to know more details on that story.
It's all just so upsetting. And I know we're getting closer and closer to this trial where we will hear actual evidence as opposed to reports. Steve, thank you for that. I also want to let our audience, Steve, know that your family has to travel upwards of 8 hours to be at the trial of Bryan Kohberger, and it's expected to last for months. So, folks, a friend of the Gonzalez family has set up a GoFundMe to help them make that repeated travel. It's called Help Kaylee Gonzalez's Family Attend
Morning,
Trial.
sweetie.
If you want to
Good
go
morning,
there,
Miss
there's
Heidi.
the address for you, the name of the
How are
GoFundMe.
you?
I'm doing pretty good, but the two trials that I've been waiting on heavy is Stephen Stearns and the Naziah Harris. And I extensively went into the Naziah Harris case. The grandmother and the aunt, Shannon, were complacent in the entire thing. Now, her other family members, there were other aunts and cousins and different people who did report a lot of the abuse that was happening, and reported specifically for Jarvis Butts being around kids. The grandmother and the aunt let Naziah and different girls in the family, young kids, go with him to the shop to work.
Yep, they did.
And they knew his charges. And I think it was the 2 or 4 year old. I think it was a 2-year-old, may have been 4. That baby actually got an STD from him.
Yes, she did.
I'm like, how is this man even able to be? Because at the time when he did what he did to Naziah, he should have actually been behind bars. They were actually he was fixing to get arrested on a unrelated gun charge, I believe.
Yeah, but he had already been arrested. He was supposed to be turning himself in, but he actually assaulted Naziah in front of another one of the cousins, and she's the one that he tried to do that to, and the other aunt called CPS, and I said the grandmother, but not the grandmother, because we saw the video of them at the party, and she said he shouldn't have been there, and then all of a sudden she's all hugging up on him and shit. They knew what type of person he was. I'm not going to have that man that I know sexually assaulted an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old or 2-year-old. I can't remember what the ages were, but I know one was 8 and the other one was like 4 or 2. I would not have him around my granddaughters or my grandsons or my nieces or my nephews.
Big facts. I wouldn't have him around no kid whatsoever. And the aunt knew the charges. She was so desperate for love. And she knew the charges before she even got with him. And here's the thing. They can only go back for so long to see that he had been talking this way to Naziah. Yep. But technically, he's been in Naziah's life since she was a baby. The mother of Naziah was on drugs. The mother of Naziah also stated that there was another uncle in the family, and that this is not like, this is a repeat action. This is a generational curse. The reason she got on drugs and was self-medicating herself is because SA happened to her as a child. Same thing for the grandmother, and so on and so forth. It is in that family, a generational curse, and it's like repeating, right?
Okay.
And then there's all these videos. There's one of the cousins, she's done a lot of interviews, but was sitting right there in Shannon's face. I would have knocked Shannon right upside her head.
See, I saw that. I saw that. I don't care if Shannon had 5 kids. Well, she had 5 kids with him.
Mm-hmm. And the oldest child and Naziah aren't far apart in age, and the grandmother has had custody of Naziah since she was little, because the mother got on drugs. Now, the father of Naziah was a married man.
Yep.
And so at first he didn't want to tell his wife about Naziah, but ended up having to, because obviously child support came after him, right?
Yep.
And but he didn't get custody of her, and why, I don't know, but I do know that right before when this situation happened, when she was missing, he had congestive heart failure. He has since he passed away.
He passed away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he passed away before Butts went into jail. When they were still looking for her, within the first like few months after her going missing, he actually passed.
I think his heart couldn't take it. I mean, even though he had congestive heart failure, I think that brought on a lot of stress and strain.
That case really like bothers me a lot, because any case involving children, right? Like the Harmony Montgomery case, any of those cases,
yes,
they really bother me. But in the Stephen Stearns case, I can't wait to see them throw the book at him, and I pray to God they get that mama. I pray. And in Naziah's case, I think the aunt and the grandmother should be held responsible.
They should be held responsible as well. And I'm going to tell you, I have a video clip of Darnell, Darnell Jones, with his history of violence. So let's take a look at that real quick, because there was no reason they should have let that man. Oh, damn. I don't know why I went with extra camera, because I don't need the other camera on. Okay, because my camera isn't on. Let me share my screen. I want you to, I don't know if you've seen this or not, or if you've heard this one yet.
I'm not sure. I've seen so much when it comes to this case. It could be possible. It could be possible I missed it, because, so much.
Yep, so let's take a look. So this is Darnell Ogleby Jones, okay? He's the one that did what he did to that beautiful, his own fucking daughter.
Murdering his daughter. Darnell Jones Ogletree is facing life in prison for the heinous crimes, but he was violent in the decades, years, and months leading up to his daughter Kamani's death, and for the vast majority of that time avoided the bars that he's now behind.
So Kamani, his daughter, look at him. Look at him. Look, here's a history. So I showed a video, and I dropped the link where it came from his other channel. They had found this on Facebook, where Darnell was saying he was having all these dark thoughts. And I heard you talking about this guy on MRE's channel the other night that was having dark thoughts about kids, and someone pulled up on him and whipped his ass. He said he was having dark thoughts, and if he acted on his thoughts, good morning, Muggsy, he would be in jail. So that was telling you what he was thinking about right there.
11 investigates. Melissa Andrews has more on Jones's road to alleged murder.
He had her on this side.
Talking about his wife.
Where that's facing us. He had her on that side right there, hanging off the balcony by her throat.
Angela Silva saw Darnell Jones unleash mayhem just a few doors down from her 4th Street home on July 29th, 2019.
And all of a sudden we started hearing things going over the balcony, like TVs and clothes, you name it. He was tossing it out the door and out the window onto the ground.
Jones choked his wife and held her over this balcony while Silva and other neighbors called 911.
He was this close to throwing her off that balcony.
Harold Glander confronted Jones.
And I yelled down there to pull her back over, and he almost dropped her. So I got myself down there, and I looked at him. I said, man, if you don't pull her back, I'm coming up. He goes, come on. So I didn't take no steps. And I was watching the girl.
Wait a minute. So he didn't take any steps. And what I think he means by that is that if he would have stepped towards him, he probably would have dropped her. What do you think?
Oh,
Charlie?
My dog's trying to. Oh, also, my husband just said, hey.
Hey.
He's going to the gym this morning. So it just, here's the thing. You seeing somebody, like, dangling somebody, I think, in my opinion, I would have stepped in and did something or called something or, said something or,
Well, they called 911, but he told him he was coming up, and he told him to come on. I think he would have dropped her if that guy would have took a step towards him. What do you think?
He probably would have, because then obviously he knows somebody's coming after him, so he's got to get ready to, fight back. I believe, yes, if he would have took that step forward, he probably would have dropped her right then and there to prove a point, because he's that type of person.
Yep, so let's listen.
Let go of her.
Jones was found with a knife and pleaded no contest to domestic violence, while other charges were dropped. He was sentenced to 60 days in CCNO, but served no time, instead completing a substance abuse program. It's just one of many incidents in a pattern of havoc he unleashed starting at age 19, allowed by the light hand of the law. In 2011, he was cited for being intoxicated while screaming outside of his apartment, then resisting arrest. Just 3 months later, Jones and another man used a lighter and flammable liquid to set fire to this Toledo warehouse. He was charged with arson, pleading guilty to a lesser charge of attempted arson, and was sentenced to 4 years of probation. He had to complete treatment, get a job, and a GED. As a felon, he was never again allowed to have a gun. His next felony came in 2015 when he shot a gun at 807 Walnut. He pleaded no contest and was again given probation. He violated that probation in January of 2016 when he punched and broke.
He should have been in jail, huh?
Because when you possess a weapon as a felon, you're supposed to get a mandatory jail sentence.
Yep, but he got probation again. Let's see what else he did. Look at his eyes. There is nothing there. Look, nothing. Hi, Pygmy. How is everything? I hope your daughter-in-law is good. How's everything, sweetie?
A window at his work release program. The violence grew in 2017 when he smashed an alternator into a man's face at 18th and Monroe. The man required 20 stitches. Jones was charged with felonious assault and pleaded guilty to a lesser charge. He was notified on August 17th that he violated his probation. He was sentenced to CCNO for 6 months, but again served no time and was again given 2 years probation. In June of 2018,
Who does he know?
He was charged with...
I don't know.
Because I would have been under the jail. I'd have been under it, throwed away the key, don't let me out, because he done violated the probation. I know people who violate for just not paying a fine or something, and they go down for whatever the charge that they previously went for, and you're a must-see judge at that point if you violate your PO. So how is he assaulting people, having pow-pows when he's a felon, and still only getting... was he an informant or something? That's the only thing I can think of.
I don't know, girl. I'm dying to know. Ruski, I see you. Don't come in here causing any problems, Ruski. I see you. Okay, look, I see you. Don't come in here causing any issues. All right.
Disorderly
Good morning, everyone.
conduct for being intoxicated.
I'm just saying good morning. Good morning to everybody popping in all of a sudden. Hi.
Yeah. Hi, Drea. Drea, I saw your message. And I'm going to send you my number so you can call me. But I saw your message. I just didn't get a chance to call you back. But I'll send you my number.
While cursing and yelling outside his home on Star Avenue. 4 months after that, police got a call that a man was drunk and trying to break into a house at the same address. Police said Jones had glossy eyes, was slurring, and had a knife. He was charged with disorderly conduct again and a concealed weapon.
So we've had 2 knives and now a gun.
And didn't get violation of probation. Didn't get, he's not supposed to be in possession of one. Not once, but twice. You got, and you know, after the 3rd time of having the same charge, they can charge you with, you know, in some places they call it different things, but it's a habitual criminal, you know, menace to society. And you can get 20 years to life for that.
Well, not him. He must be related to the governor. Let's just say that. Let's just say that.
He was put back on probation and sent back to treatment. Jones was cited in May of 2019 for disorderly conduct. An affidavit states he was drunk on his 4th Street porch with a machete.
Now we got a machete.
Another weapon.
Weapon.
Lord Jesus, this man's just getting away with stuff left and right. Well, you get a pass and you get probation and you get a pass. And I'm like, they doing him like Oprah, giving him away free time. I'd be in prison.
I'm like, what is going on with the justice system here?
I said the same thing, Pit me. They would have put me under the jail.
Under the damn jail. What the fuck?
I would have got life for that. Like after 3 or 4 times of doing the same thing over and over again. Because I know somebody who did petty larceny more than 3 times, and they put them in jail for menace to society and gave them 20 to life. I mean, it was a cousin of mine. He was in there from the time I was 5 years old all the way up until I was in my mid-20s or early 20s. And the only reason they let him out and they would have kept him was because his health conditions when he got older got so bad they didn't want to pay for him. And he was a non-violent offender.
I'm going to ask everybody that's in Ohio, what is going on with your justice system? Okay, George, what's going on with your justice system? Where's Jen? What's going on with your justice system in Ohio? This is all taking place in Toledo, okay? What's wrong with you people? Not you people. What's wrong with your justice system? He said 2 knives, a gun, and a machete. And each time he's been drunk or high off of something.
Well, most of us would have been put under that jail. We wouldn't even got the opportunity.
I would have been, girl, they would have got me and said, bitch, this is it. Look, I went for terroristic threats. And this mofo.
I know, right? He's getting away with having how many multiple pew-pews, multiple weapons as a felon. He's over here assaulting people left and right. I'm like, disorderly conduct, just constantly. I'm like, bruh, I would have been in prison. They wouldn't have let me go for no reason. I wouldn't have got no probation. I'm gonna tell you something. He was probably an informant. That's the only thing I can think of why he kept getting probation, and or he was kin to somebody at the top.
Charlie, I'm going to introduce you to somebody. Her name is Sarah Teague, okay? Her daughter, Heather Teague, has been missing, okay? For 29 years now, okay? I've been really, really busy. I've had Sarah on several times. We talk in DMs, but when I talk to Sarah, it's like a 2 or 3 hour conversation, and I just haven't had that type of time lately. So, but she keeps me informed on a lot of stuff. So, Charlie, you're going to have to either give me your email or your number in the back chat. I'm going to hook you up with Sarah. So that way she can keep getting her messages out. But there's been all kind of podcasts on her daughter, Heather Teague. This took place in Kentucky, and KSP, she's suing them and everything for mishandling her case. I have FBI files where it says Witsack in the corner because she FOIA'd those and she sent those to me. And at first they thought she was in Witsack, but she never made it. So it's a whole bunch of mess, Charlie. A whole bunch of mess.
I'm putting stuff in the back chat.
Okay. Look, just put it in the back chat and I'll send you the information. And then I'll, matter of fact, I'll find the time today to call, to actually call her so I can talk to her about you.
Also cited for threatening to shoot in the head the officer who
Wait,
arrested
he threatened to shoot the officer in the head. Still didn't go to jail.
him. Then came the choking of his wife on the balcony in July of 2019. The problems continued in August of 2022 when he was indicted by a grand jury for an incident at a daycare. He was found drunk with a crack pipe in the parking lot shooting a gun.
Another gun with a crack pipe in a parking lot at a daycare.
Oh Lord, see, we'd all, every single one of us in this chat right now, if we did a quarter, we don't even have to do 10%. We're gonna say 10% of what this man has done. We'd be under the jail. We would be in there for life. We wouldn't even get the possibility of parole, because we'd be considered a violent offender. You know what I'm saying?
And Pygmy said her best friend is in prison. She got life plus 5 years. Pygmy, what did your friend do? Did she have a crack pipe? Did she threaten somebody? Because undoubtedly she doesn't live in Ohio. Because she would have got away with it. Shit.
Served several months in CCNO. That was 3 years before the murder of his daughter Kamani Latig and his arrest in Columbus.
What's your hands? Kill me.
Kill me.
Show
Kill
me
me.
your hands right
Kill
now.
me.
Bro. Pull your hand out of your. I swear to God, pull your.
Good morning, Kelly.
Shots fired. Shots fired. Dennis in a second. Get back. Don't move.
See, look, I'm gonna tell you how.
Having
I'm
seen-
glad they shot him where they did, because he wanted to commit unaliving by a cop. I'm glad they didn't kill him. He needs to spend the rest of his life in prison. Let's see if they give him a slap on the wrist for cutting his daughter's throat, for awing her, for cutting off her hands, for kidnapping her out of her grandmother's home, where he assaulted her in the grandmother's home. When that woman said her underwear and her pajama bottoms were in the living room and everything was disarrayed, the stove was on, and he assaulted that young girl in that home. That's where that assault took place at.
That poor baby.
He took her out of that home and slit her throat in that abandoned home that had been burned down, that just caught on fire again. I think they just demolished it, and cut off her hands.
That dude, I hope he never gets out, and I swear for Jesus, if I ever hear of him getting out, I am calling the representative, the Senate, and every person in Ohio and be like, what are y'all doing right now? What is wrong with y'all system? If I'm gonna say this, he wouldn't have been able to get to this point if he had been where I live, because he'd have been in prison. He wouldn't be able to be around that child. He wouldn't be able to be out on the streets. He would be in prison for a very long time, because he's broke probation how many times, right? Violated. They would say that he had a problem with authority down here and put him in what they call it's called the RID program.
He's a habitual offender.
Jones' violent streak. His old neighbors on 4th Street aren't shocked.
He is an habitual offender. He should not. If that was Texas or California, 3 strikes, baby, you're out. How many strikes has he had? 7?
At least right close to 10. And I'm gonna tell you this: the 3 pow-pows by a felon would have got him 20 to life.
And a machete and 2 knives. And then you in a parking lot at a daycare shooting a gun with a crack pipe.
He would have never got out of prison here for that.
I'm going to call Lisa Richard. Oh, I'm going to play you guys a recording of Lisa Richard. Somebody didn't want to give her money. I want you to hear what this sick bitch had to say.
I was surprised at first. And then I turned around and thought about it. And I was like, well, if he tried to kill one person, who's to say he wasn't going to do it again? But I didn't think it would be his own daughter.
They can't change their stripes. People can't change unless they want to. and I don't think he wants
He never wanted to change.
That was Melissa Andrews reporting. Jones also served short stints in prison in 2012 and in 2022 for gun charges in Franklin and Lorain counties. In both cases, he scratched identifying information off of those guns. His next court appearance here in Lucas County is May 23rd.
May 23rd. May 23rd. I'm going to really write that down, because that I'm going to have to cover. I have to cover that. May 23rd, he's going to be in court again. But they had all these chances. All these chances. What my problem still is that the grandmother, okay, the grandmother left this child alone at night. She worked overnight. There is no way I'm going to leave my granddaughter home overnight, knowing that everybody knows I work at night, knowing that people know that she's in that home, and there's all these criminal elements around. Why would you leave that child at home by herself?
I would not, and I would have, if in case, like, they had other family members, like her daughter.
Her other daughter lived about 3 hours away, who was the one that really cared about Kamani. The mother didn't give a shit about her daughter. And the grandmother had, CPS had visited her. Come to find out that the aunt who was on camera crying, she had been in foster care too because of her mother, because CPS had to step in. I wouldn't have gave this, but she adopted Kamani. I wouldn't have given this woman custody of this little girl, knowing she could take care of her own kids.
Here's the thing. Also, there's two reasons why the grandmother shouldn't have gotten custody. First off, they'll tell you, in most cases, if the person is elderly, right, or has any kind of health condition that could prevent them from raising, a lot of times they won't give them to an elderly person, right? And, I don't know how old the grandmother is, but the aunt would have been the better choice by CPS standards, right?
Yep.
The one that actually loved her and cared about her. Secondly, because she has a previous CPS case of losing a child in my state. Now, I don't know how it is in their state. In my state, if you lose one child, just one, to CPS for any amount of reason, you lose all rights to every child you have after that. Whether it be a father who signs away his rights or a mother who loses. If in any way you lose rights to one child, you lose rights to all children thereafter.
I'm telling you, when they interviewed that grandmother, I was sick to my stomach. She was so nonchalant. So let me show you this. You guys,
that dang Lisa lady, y'all
he
keep
is
showing me. She's
smiling
crazy.
in court. Okay, I want to show you this. He is smiling in court. Okay, he's smiling. Now, this bitch pissed me off with this. Smiling in court. Here we go.
I get anger when they smile in court. I be want to pop them upside
of
the
a
head.
heinous crime. Allegedly killing his own daughter, sits in court, even smiling at times, talking to his lawyers. This video per WTOL. Darnell Jones is not only just accused of killing his daughter, he's also accused of sexually assaulting and mutilating the body of 13-year-old Kamani Latig. This is the same man who also allegedly pulled a gun on police in Ohio when he was on the run.
What's your name's killing me?
We're learning more about the clues police have that they say prove that Darnell Jones killed his daughter, and we'll show you Jones's reaction in court as the judge talked to him about the possibility of the death penalty. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. Yep. I'm Chris Stewart.
Evil. Let's go here. Here we go.
He's currently facing more than a dozen charges. He's facing 4 counts of aggravated murder, 2 counts of rape, 3 counts of kidnapping, aggravated battery, 2 counts of endangering children, and 2 counts of tampering with evidence, not to mention a count of gross abuse of a corpse. Jones appeared in court to enter a plea. This is video per WTOL of the judge addressing Jones.
As I said, I have a lot to go over. I want to make sure you understand. That's the key. Okay? What's your name?
Jones is currently being held without bond. Jones said he's currently on medication for anxiety and for pain related to what he called the accident. What he may be referring to as the accident is this.
It's when he was shot.
Come here, man. Don't do it. What's your name? Kill me.
He said, kill me. Kill me. Look at him.
Dude, show me your hands right now. Me, pull your hand out of your... I swear to God, pull your...
This was on kill me or I'm going to kill myself. That's what he said. Kill me or I'm going to kill myself. Bitch, you don't deserve to die like this. You need to rot in prison.
He also don't deserve pain meds neither. Let his ass feel all that pain.
You know what? I was thinking the same damn thing.
Don't think he needed some antibiotics so we can make sure he live longer, so he can suffer more. But don't give him no. He don't deserve pain meds or anxiety meds or anything like that to feel better. Let him feel bad for the rest of his life. Don't put him on depression medication.
But he has no feelings. That's just it. He has no feelings. None. How could you if you did this to your daughter?
Oh, he's a sociopath. You could tell by looking at his eyes. He just looks evil.
Yeah, he did this to his own daughter. My sons would kill for their kids.
I would too. I'm gonna go tell you that's why I tell certain people don't be messing with people's children. You're gonna mess with the wrong one. Somebody gonna go crazy. I'm gonna tell you. You take away a person's child or their last hope in life, and you don't know how crazy they could be. And
look at that man, that Hinton, that just girl. I'm gonna have to show that video again when he was walking out the courtroom. None of those cops looked him in the eyes. Hi, Party Rock. And I said it when I went live. I said it was an eye for an eye. Even though that officer he killed had nothing to do with his son. That man felt he had nothing else to lose. You took his son. Even though your son committed a crime, your son had a gun, they said. He took off running. He was shot, 18 years old. He's dead. Daddy was like, after he watched that video of his son being shot down, Daddy lost his shit. All on TikTok, girl. They got shirts out. We stand with Robert Hinton Jr. We stand. I was like, and they're saying it, an eye for an eye. They're doing Hammurabi. He's the one that said an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Whereas Moses says, turn the other cheek. Hammurabi said, fuck that. I did that paper in college. Contrast and comparison. Hammurabi was all about the get back. You do to me, I'm going to do to you. God says, do unto others as you have them do to you. Hammurabi said, fuck that. No, I'm going to do you. You did me, so I'm going to take. You took from me, so I'm going to take from you. And that's exactly what he did. Did you see that case?
Which case, Miss Heidi? I'm sorry.
When the son was shot and the daddy ran.
Oh yeah.
The officer.
I'm gonna say this right now. When you take, no matter what's going on or how the child, might be doing some criminal activity, whatever. When you take a parent's last hope in this universe and the only thing that they love away from them, they have nothing left to live for. And that is a dangerous situation. That's why, even people on this internet stuff who play these CPS games and all this other stuff, what happens if you were in a corrupt system and didn't have a good system, right? And they took that person's only hope left in this world, their only thing they love. You're literally setting yourself up for that person to do something terrible to you because they literally have nothing left to live for.
Now, and they said this man was quiet, soft-spoken, everything. So I'm going to show you this video when they're taking him out of court after this. But let's finish listening to this.
Connection to his daughter's murder in Toledo, Ohio. Police approached him in Columbus, Ohio, and he allegedly tried to pull a gun. YouTube rules don't let us show you the moment that officers fire and hit Jones, but you might have heard him tell officers, quote, just kill me.
Shots fired.
Yep,
Shots
he said,
fired.
just kill me,
Dennis
I'm
in
going
a
to kill
second.
myself.
Your medic, go.
Don't move.
Yeah, unmarked cars, bro. You
Alright,
see this, right? Unmarked cars.
Don't move. He's got 33 right there.
33 in his hands.
No, it's a walkie-talkie, but there's 33s right here. Don't you move or you're gonna get shot, okay?
Well, he
All
said
right?
there's a 33 there.
So we had another pow.
Yep.
Another
Yep.
one.
That's him.
That's him. After they shot him, they go, that's
Somebody
him.
get on the green here. Get us a medic. I'm working on it.
Jones faced a charge of felonious assault on a police officer, but that case was dropped so he could return to Toledo to face the more serious charges of allegedly killing his daughter. Jones's daughter, Kamani Latig, went missing on March 18th. On March 24th, she was found dead inside a vacant home in Toledo, Ohio. The Lucas County coroner said Kamani's cause of death was related to multiple incision wounds to her neck. Something sharp like a knife was used to kill her. A grand jury indictment of Jones showed he allegedly did far more to the young girl. The indictment specifically says that Jones allegedly committed the offense with sexual motivation and says he is a sexually violent predator. The grand jury also says that Jones allegedly tortured or cruelly abused his daughter, and that Jones allegedly treated a human corpse in a way that would outrage reasonable community sensibilities. Newly released warrants obtained by WTOL show that when Kamani's grandma, who was the one who had custody of the girl, came home one night, Kamani was gone.
One morning.
But her underwear and pajamas were in the kitchen, a place she told police the girl never changed in. Police then interviewed Jones and his cousin, Kalop Jones Dixon, and felt that they were both not being truthful. The warrant said...
So that's what I wanted to say. He said him and his cousin went there because Kamani called them and said someone was trying to break in. They went, first they said they stayed for a few minutes, then it was 30 minutes, and then it was like 40 minutes. They kept changing the story. So my question is, was the cousin there when he attacked his daughter, or did the cousin participate?
I think for the cousin to be lying just as much and not to come forward first, I think he participated.
It was the girlfriend that called the cops after she found out. Because he told her to turn off the cameras when he was coming in the house, and he hit like a car mat. So he drove her to that place and did what he did to her. It was one of the mats that was in the back of the truck. Hi, Zelda Z. It is. It's disgusting. He did this to his child. I want to see if they went and if they find Naziah Harris' body.
Yeah, Naziah
Harris. If I want to know what was done to her, because I think it was worse. I think he shot her in the head.
I think it's worse than that. I'm going to tell you that. I think a lot of the evidence is going to be degraded, so it's going to be harder to see a lot of things. But I believe that he R-worded her.
But we already know he did that. We already know he R-worded her. He's been assaulting her. But for them to say that Darnell is a sexual predator, is there more than one case that we know of that they're not saying?
Could be very well possible. I mean, look at his record already of what they've showed and told. I mean, look at all those assaults and all those things, and why couldn't he have custody? Even with a criminal record of that kind, a lot of people still have custody, of their child, or can get. I mean, look at, Justice for Harmony. Her dad had a criminal record and had different things on there. But as long as it's usually not an offense against a child, they do sometimes give custody. So the only way that he would never be able to get custody is if he had a violent offense against a child or a SA offense against a child.
Yeah, but they said a sexual predator. You just did, far as we know, one crime, right? One.
Mm-hmm.
They said sexual predator. Wait a minute. Where is it? When they said he was a sexual predator. And then
I still don't see how he kept getting out of jail with his record, because 3, 4, 5 different. I mean, here's the thing: a felon
More to
can
the young
have
girl.
a knife and different things like that, but they are not allowed to be in possession of any pow whatsoever. And for him to have had 3 or 4 different instances, that was a violation of probation, which can carry 10 to 15 years by itself, not including the charges that you have. On top of that, because he did it multiple times, he should have been sentenced to what they call menace to society or repeat offender, and that's 20 years to life, not including the charges. That's just for redoing the same crime multiple times.
So they're saying that, okay, one is a felony in a 3rd degree. Hold on, let's go back.
Yeah. And for him to have them pows every time, he should have never got probation.
Yeah, but these are his charges right now for Kamani.
And the other endangering children charge, felony of the 2nd degree, count 4 of the indictment, alleges that you did torture or cruelly abuse Kamani Latig, a child under 18, constituting endangering children, and that the violation resulted in serious physical harm to her. Okay,
He's a 2nd degree, 3rd degree.
Felony of the 5th degree. That
5th degree.
Alleges that you did
gross abuse of the corpse.
By law, treating a human corpse in a way that would outrage reasonable community sensibilities, constituting gross abuse of a corpse, felony of the 5th degree.
Man, Ohio got some, I'm telling you.
Finally, with counts 14 and 15, each of them is a count of tampering with evidence. Each of them is a felony of the 3rd degree. Each of them allege that you did, knowing that an official proceeding or investigation was in progress or was about to be or likely to be instituted, alter, destroy, conceal, or remove any record, document, or thing with purpose to impair its value or availability as evidence in such proceeding or investigation in violation of the law constituting tampering with evidence, a felony of the 3rd degree. As I said, counts 14 and 15 are essentially the same. Do you understand what I read you? Are you clear?
Let me see if I can
Not
be a little
guilty.
more precise. Okay. So, with respect to count 1, Judge, to the charge of aggravated murder on behalf of Mr. Jones, we offer a plea of not guilty.
This is a story, for obvious reasons, that has shaken the community of Toledo, Ohio. This is where the vacant home where Kamani was found once stood. The home actually recently burned down in a fire that
Somebody
authorities
set a fire to it again. Okay?
are still investigating. Our cameras captured a large memorial that sits on the side of the road in honor of Latig, with people wearing clothing with her name and face printed on it. This is a case that could put Darnell Jones on death row.
He should be on death
row. We watched
row.
during the arraignment how Jones reacted when the judge told him that this was a capital murder case. More video here from WTOL. There are also major questions for the Family Services Organization in Lucas County, Ohio, that did have interactions with Kamani Latig and her family. The head of the Lucas County Children's Services said they feel they were thorough in her case. They say that Kamani was in custody of her grandmother, who admitted that at times she used physical discipline, but there was no evidence that meant Kamani should be taken from that home. They also say that the teen told them that she felt safe in that home with her grandmother. A task force is being formed to review the organization and how they handle cases of children in Toledo. According to WTOL, more than 200 people have already applied to be part of the task force, and as many as 20 will eventually be picked. The station says no specific cases will be reviewed, but the task force was launched over questions about the handling of the case involving Kamani Latig. Ahead of the court appearance that Darnell Jones first made in Toledo, I spoke with former prosecutor and Deputy Attorney General for the state of Ohio, Mark Weaver, and this is what he said about the case. Joining us now is prosecutor and former Deputy Attorney General for the state of Ohio.
What do you think?
I'm going to say this right now. I did just look up possession charges of a firearm by a felon in Ohio, and it is a 3rd-degree felony charge, and you're supposed to get 9 months to 5 years and fines up to $10,000. That's just for the first offense, right?
Yeah.
And he should have never even been eligible for probation whatsoever after the first time. And on the 3rd time, he should have got what they call a habitual. And
that's what I said, habitual.
That's
He's
20
a
to life.
criminal.
And if they would have took seriously what he was doing, this case would not be where it's at, and that baby would still be alive.
Of course, you see, in Zelda, I was thinking the same thing because she doesn't want to be moved. And I was thinking the same thing. She's been in foster care. She was with the godmother for 5 years or 10 years, whatever it was. And then the grandmother took her and she fostered her and then she adopted her. She finally had a place where I guess she can feel that she was home. You don't want to be moved again. You don't want to go to another school. You don't want to make new friends. So, yes.
And did they interview her in front of the grandmother? There's also that
Ooh.
possibility. She may have been like, I don't want to say anything because then I'll get in trouble kind of situation. That's another thing that I see is that a lot of times, even like, let's go back, you know, it's years ago, but my mother was abused by her father, right?
Mhm.
And they interviewed my mother right in front of her abusers. What was she supposed to say?
Exactly. But I was, well, not told. We saw where the students had notified the teacher that Kamani was coming to school with bruises, and they called CPS and they visited. And she says, well, yeah, you know, because they told her that there's a right way to whip a child. No, they wouldn't say whip a child. They would say punish your child. They wouldn't say whip a child.
Mhm.
At 13 years old, why are you still beating a teenager? Why are you whooping a teenager? You take their shit away from them.
Oh, and there's a better way to get on to your children. I'm gonna tell you this: if you
Take
know
the
you got a
damn
kid,
cell phones.
take their stuff away.
Take the
There's
computers.
sit there and tell them yours. I'm gonna tell you something. Best way my mom and daddy got on to me, they didn't have to spank me. They didn't. All my mom and daddy had to do was look at me and go, "I'm ashamed of your behavior." And boy, I put myself in timeout. That's all it took was, and sometimes hurting their heart and telling them why they are in trouble and what they've done and giving them real, like my son. He is such a good kid and well-rounded. And if I tell him something, he knows that it's coming from a place of love. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm telling him these things to protect him. He don't even argue back and none of that stuff. If I tell him not to do something, he's not going to do it.
Nope.
And you know,
I'm gonna tell you what I told my grandson one time. Let me tell you what I told my grandson one time, and he might be listening. He was showing off in school, right? So he wasn't scared of his mother. His dad was in Italy, and so his mother called me, and he happened to be with me that week. So she was telling me that the teacher wanted to talk to me because I'm the only one that he probably listens to. So the teacher called and was telling me how he was being disruptive, you know, all this other stuff. And I looked at him and I told him, I said, you see, I said, let your teacher call me one more time. I said, and here's what I'm going to do. I said, I'm going to kill you, and then I'm going to help them look for your body. That's what I told him. And he looked at me. He goes, you're serious, huh? I said, yes, I am. He was like, I believe you would do it. I said, I would be out there looking for your body, knowing exactly where you're at. I said, show off again. I never had another problem with him in school. Because he knew
you put the fear of God in him. That's all you got to do.
I said, I will kill you and help them look for your body. He just looked at me.
He's like, I ain't even going to mess up no more.
No, when his dad called and he told his dad, he was like, yep, she would do it too. I told him.
I'm going to tell you, only thing I've ever had to tell my son is he was acting up one time because of his father not being there. He had anger issues at a specific time in his life. And I looked at him and I said, you should be ashamed of your behavior. I said, I gave up my entire life for you, and this is how you're going to be. Oh, boy, that's all it took. I broke that little heart, and he ain't did it since.
He was like 10 or 11. I didn't hit him. I just looked at him. And then he was playing this game. Oh, you were scared of me. You were scared of me. Oh, you were.
The grandbaby comes in and tells on
No, that's my son, girl. Tell me he was faking. Nate was scared of me. Okay. And he said he was faking. Boy, your eyes sure told another story. Yeah, that was Justin that I told. I did. His son. I told him, I said, I will bury you. No, I said, I will kill you and help them find your body. Help them look.
Let
He
me
just
tell you what
looked
my
at me.
mama did to me one time. This is what I threatened my mama with 911 or something like that. She handed me the phone and told me to dial it.
Girl. Girl, I remember now Nate was here, so Nate told me he was running away one day, right? We were living in Virginia Beach. He told me he was running away. He put this little stuff in his little backpack. I helped him out the door. My neighbors were calling me in the condo. Heidi, he's sitting outside. I said, okay. She goes, it was two guys. They were like, Heidi, he's just sitting out there. I said, okay, he's running away. I said, I told him to get off my patio. I did. They said, would you mind if we bring him over here and feed him? I said, you do what you want, but he's running away. He's got to go.
My mama did that to me once, and I'm going to tell you.
Don't run. You can walk. Go ahead. Go ahead.
She gave me the bag, told me to pack my stuff. Boy, I was packing my little. I was a dumb little kid. All I packed was toys. I didn't think about packing clothes or food or nothing. And I had my little backpack. I put my little toys in it. And you know how a kid will do that thing where they keep looking back, hoping you'll say something. I kept doing that, and I was walking through there.
I escorted Nate to the door. I escorted. He said, "Run, baby. You ain't got to run. You can walk. Here you go. Come on." And he had that little backpack. I was like, this little motherfucker right here. I said, "Okay." There
we
you
come
go.
back apologizing every time.
Nope. And then I was, girl. Lauren, he said he was running away. And let me tell you why he was running away. He had got in trouble in school. That's when he had told the bus driver. Remember what you told the bus driver, Nathan? That he was going to, somebody told him on the bus to tell the bus driver he was going to snatch the hair off her Pussy. And he said it. I got him off the bus. The bus driver was like, oh, no, don't do that. He didn't mean it. I was like, okay. I was so mad. I said, I'm going to tear your ass up. But instead, I went in his room. He had the racing car thing that was on the wall, that hung, you can race. I start taking shit. I took I don't know if it was the Sega Genesis or the Nintendo. I took all of his shit. He had his own phone in his room with his own phone number. He had everything he ever wanted. Nate was girl. And when I took all that shit and he told me he was running away, I said, bitch, you ain't got to run. Walk. Here you go. Get out. I did.
My mom and daddy were like, if you got in trouble bad enough, they stripped everything from your room. All you had was a bed and 4 walls.
Yeah, and now let me tell you how I used to hurt Kayla and Justin when Kayla had her phone, and I said, give me the phone. She's like, for what? I said, give me the phone. I'm not gonna ask you again. Give me the phone. Justin, give me the laptop. But Grandma, I said, I didn't take the TV. I'm taking the laptop. I said, don't make me tell you can't watch TV. You hit them where it hurts. And then he'd be sitting in his room, pouting on the bed, and just making noise. I said, keep making noise in there if you want to. Next thing I know, he's in there asleep. Then I feel so guilty, and I'll sit there, and then he'll come, Grandma, can I help you do? I was like, just go play your game. And he goes, oh, okay, so I can get my laptop. I said, yeah, you can get your laptop. I just felt guilty. Hell yeah.
My mom and dad took everything. You didn't have a TV, a radio, nothing. You had 4 walls. Nope. And my mom and daddy knew I love reading, so they would take away my books.
Take away everything. Nate was horrible. I would get a call from the school damn near every day. It got to the point I wouldn't even leave my office. I would send somebody else to go get him because I couldn't deal at that time because I would have choked him. One day I went to the school. He was in that. They had him in a room. They had taken his shoes off. He was in there grunting, girl, kicking the file cabinets and all kind of shit. They gonna ask me, did I ever think about putting him in karate? I looked at those teachers like they were crazy. I opened that door. I looked at him. I said, shut the fuck up and put your shoes on. Let's go. He looked up. He was surprised when he saw me. I was so mad. And then they wanted, they got these programs in Virginia. where you take them. I'm glad I never did it, but I did. They would go observe him in school, and they were going to put Nathan in this school where you had to earn credits to come home on the weekends, right? And they went to the school and observed him. And he knew, they had to know. But he would only act up in school, not at home. They told me there was nothing wrong with him. I took Nathan to see a child psychologist. And that man told me flat out, he goes, you can bring him here every day, but there's nothing wrong with him. He knows exactly what he's doing. And you know when he started it? He would cut up in school so his dad can come down. Every time he cut up, I would call his dad. His dad would come to Virginia Beach. They would go shopping. They would go to the movies. And his thing was, boys are going to be boys, right? Nate would cut up so his dad can come. I remember one day he asked me, he said, when is my dad coming? I said, what do you mean, when is your dad coming? And that's when I realized, I said, you little bitch, you. Well, I didn't call him a little bitch. I said it to myself. I was like, you little bitch, you. You've been doing this just to get your dad here. And that's what he would do. He would cut up so his dad can come. He didn't have to do that. All he had to do was call his dad and said, hey, Dad, can you come this weekend? But he would cut up. Hi, Lady Red. He would cut up just so his dad can come.
Mine, I will say that my son never really acted out, but when, because my son's father wasn't around and still isn't, when people would bring up his name, because it would bring out the anger in him. You know what I'm saying? And so I did make it a rule to, like, if he's not going to be around, just to please don't bring up his name, because it hurts the child. It doesn't hurt anybody else. And I helped him through that anger issue, but there were times that I had to discipline him because of it, right? And I would take away his game system. The better way to get onto some kids, if you know they have a big heart and they're, like that, like with your situation, I would have been like, guess what? I ain't even gonna call your daddy. And
I didn't call
you
him.
Be bad. You know what? I would have threatened him with, I'm gonna make sure your daddy don't come see you if you don't be good.
I didn't even do all of that. Once he said it, I realized then, I said, oh, I got something for you. And I wouldn't call him. His dad would call and I would say, yep, he did. He was like, well, I said, no, you're not. No, you're not. You don't need to come here. But the one thing Nathan did do that, it was this little boy that lived next door to us, and we were living in a townhouse. This little boy used to grab knives and stuff and chase his mother around. So one day he had hit Nathan. I came home and Nathan was there. He told me he hit him. I said, what do you mean he hit you? I said, did you hit him back? He said, no. I said, I tell you what. I said, the next time he hits you, I said, if you don't punch him in his fucking nose, and I don't care if you break it, I'm going to tear your ass up. Maybe a week later, I got home. I pulled up, and she was out there, your son. I said, excuse me? And I looked at her, and girl, my eye just started twitching a few minutes ago, just thinking about it, right? Just thinking about it. I go in the house, Nate's sitting on the sofa, and I'm looking at him. I said, what's wrong? He goes, I punched him in his nose, and his nose started bleeding. I said, good for you. I said, I bet he won't touch you again. And then I went outside, and she started screaming. I said, you don't want to scream at me. Well, I said, you should whip your own son's ass. I said, because I'll be damned if my son's going to be chasing me around with knives and calling me bitches and shit. I said, get your child under control. I said, but don't ever yell at me again. And I went in my house and closed my door and congratulated my son for whipping his ass.
My mom and dad used to tell me that simple thing.
And I showed him where to hit him at. I said, hit him on that bridge. I don't give a fuck if you break it. And I meant what I said.
Yeah, I was told, don't take nothing. You don't start nothing, but you better finish it. That's the way we was told as kids. Don't you start nothing.
Yeah.
But if somebody starts it, you better finish it.
Yep, I did the same thing to my granddaughter, my oldest, second oldest. This little boy was always pulling her hair. She's really pretty. And I told her when I was there for a visit, I said, the next time he pulls your hair, turn around and punch him right in the eye. And they were like, don't tell her that. Don't tell her that. I said, punch him. I bet he won't touch you again. And I damn sure did. Punch him. I told Nathan, I don't care if he broke his damn nose. I didn't care. but he won't be touching him. And I'm telling you, I meant what I said. And when that woman, I said, "Excuse me," and she realized I wasn't. I'll whip your ass too. My son just whipped your son's ass. Don't make me get you.
You sound like my mama, Miss Heidi. I swear to God.
I'm telling you, he got into another fight in high school, and it was over a pencil with one of his really good friends, and he was in algebra class, as a matter of fact. And I got to the school, they calling me. He was in 10th grade, whatever. I walked in there, and they told me what happened. And I said, "Why are you scared?" And they were talking about, "Well, we're going to suspend him." And I said, "Okay, so where's the other little kid?" And they were saying, "Oh, well, I said, "If you're going to suspend him, you need to suspend the other one as well." I said, "Because he wouldn't have been fighting if he would have left his pencil alone and not touched his shit." That principal looked at me. I said, "So if he's suspended, the other one better be suspended too." Him sure did. And they said, "Well, we're just going to let him go home for the day, and then we'll set up a meeting." I said, "Do that." And I meant what I said. Nate knew when I would go to school I wasn't playing. They hated to call me. They really did.
Oh, they did not like. I'm gonna tell you this.
They hated calling
They
me.
didn't. All I had to say, because I had one teacher who grabbed me the wrong way, and I didn't know it was a teacher. And I'm lucky I didn't hit her because I didn't know who she was. She grabbed me all of a sudden, right? And because I'm not used to people putting their hands on me for no apparent reason, right? And her students just came running in the lunchroom. I let them pass me. I wasn't gonna run, I'm not running to food. It's there. I'm gonna walk, And she tried to pull me out of line and say I passed her students or something. I said, "How is that possible when we got let out before they did to go to the lunchroom? Your students ran in front of me. I'm not gonna try to fight them to get a place in line." You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna walk up here. She tried to, and she put her hands on my arm and dug her fingernails into my arm. When I went to that office and I showed the principal, because see, she tried to write me up. And I still had the mark on my arm that very next morning. And I didn't tell my mama. There was a reason why I didn't tell my mama. Because if I had told my mama,
girl, my child
that would have been a different situation.
Nope. Because when Nate's got in, I know what he's going to do, just like I know what the other two would do. But when Kayla was in Vegas, she had wrote a note about people that she wanted to get rid of, because they were always, saying shit to her. She was the only black kid in the class, really smart, and so she wrote this note, and she balled it up and threw it in the trash. Well, the teacher dug it out the trash. So they had to, now at the time she was 9. So Nate was, it was his ex-wife. So she calls and tells me what was going on. Kayla's all upset. I said, "Well, what the fuck did they do to her?" And they were saying, so Nate, he always try to be so nice. So the day they went to the school, his wife called and had me had it on speaker so I can hear what was being said, right? They were talking about Kayla, and I was like, "Wait a minute, that's not my granddaughter." So I'm listening, and I finally said, "Take me off of mute." And I kept texting her, "Take me off of mute, take me off of mute." So this teacher was talking. I got so mad. I said, "First of all, she doesn't need to be in a classroom with a teacher that sounds racist to me. Second of all," I was so pissed. I said, "Please don't make me come there." "Okay, call me later. Please call me later and I can help you. Please don't make me come there." And Nathan heard my voice and he was like, "Oh shit, don't make me come there." And I did. I told my daughter-in-law the night before, I said, "I will come there, whip her ass, and go back to Texas." I said, because undoubtedly they were pissing Kayla off. Do you know that Kayla had to go to counseling, and the only reason she wasn't arrested because she was 9 years old? And they had to move her out of that class, and they did, and she thrived. They put her in another classroom, and she thrived. They wouldn't call on her. I'm sitting there going, and the first thing I said, "Let me guess." I said, "She's the only black student in that class, right?" I said, "Let me guess, the teacher's white." And my daughter-in-law was like, how do you know? I said, first of all, she's smart. She's pretty. I said, and I just went down the list. And she was like, Ma, I said, when you go to that school, don't let them talk to you like you don't know your child. I said, because that's what they try to do. Nate was like, yep. Oh, okay. You know, he's all in uniform and shit, trying to be cute, trying to be nice. No, we're not having this. We're not doing this. Not to my granddaughter, we're not.
I
Not
had
at all.
something similar happen to me, but it was polar opposite. I was failed in first grade because of being white. And my mom and dad kept all my papers, right? Took them back up there, showed that I passed every single thing. And this lady looked to me in my face when I was in first grade, so I was like 6 years old, and apologized to me. Of course, they made her apologize, right? Um, didn't get it overturned because you'd have to go to the school board and all this other stuff and have a special hearing. But she looked at me and she said, I'm sorry for taking out on you. And I remember this conversation very well, what had happened to her, right? And I'm like, I don't understand why you would even want to take it out on a 6-year-old child that has nothing to do with that situation. But even then, like, I know hurt people, but don't take it out on kids. And don't be that way towards children. It's not their fault anything that happened to you. You know, regardless.
But then they tried to turn it like, you know, like there's something going on at home. I'm like, what the fuck is going on at home? These kids are well provided for, well taken care of, well loved. Don't you sit there and trying to turn this shit around, because we're not having it. And Nate was like, and I'm listening to him. I'm like, if you don't stand up for your damn daughter, and I'm getting madder. So by the time they left the school, they called me, right? I was going off on the phone. Nick was like, Ma, I was in uniform. Blah, 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 blah. I was like, I don't give a shit. Look, I don't care. Don't let these people talk to you like, because I never let them do that to him or his brothers. I never. You're not going to tell me about my sons because I know them. That one teacher called me one time. Nick was in 8th grade. We had just moved to Texas, 7th grade. 8th grade, and that was before I put him in that magnet school. And they said, well, we were getting pizza in, and Nate told me to suck his dick. I said, excuse me? And this was what the teacher called and told me, right? I said, excuse me? And he said it again. I said, did you see Nathan say that? And he was like, well, he was directly behind. I said, did you see Nathan say that? I said, I know what my son is saying. He'll say, go to hell. He'll say, I said, but I have never, ever till this day heard my son tell anyone to suck his dick, okay? So I called the principal of the school. I went the fuck off. So then they had a conference call with me, the principal, and the teacher. And I repeated what he said. I said, if you ever call me again and tell me my son told you to, and the principal said, man, wait a minute. I said, those are the words he used. I said, if you ever call me again and tell me that bullshit over the phone, you and I are going to have a big problem, and you really don't want to see me.
You have to be your child's advocate when you know your kid. Because I'm going to tell you something. One of the reasons my son was homeschooled, he was in pre-K in my area. And I had, obviously, people looking. I was in college at the time, so I had my mother and my sister checking on my child, right? My mom walked in there one day or my sister did, and looked in the classroom, and they had left my child in the classroom by himself because they didn't want to have to keep a more special eye on him because of his mild cerebral palsy, because he has, he would wear braces on his legs. I taught him how to put the braces on. If his foot came out, I did all the things. I said, if you don't want to deal with him, I said, we live such and such from the school, call, we'll be up there right away to take care of it. You know what I'm saying? He was supposed to have a helper. I actually filed out for that, but before.
Oh, I heard you say that he didn't even have a helper.
Yeah.
So in Texas now, you have cameras in the classroom. Okay, you can actually log in because they give you a code, for your student, and you can log in to see what's going on. When my grandson was at daycare, when it was pre-K, I had the code, his dad had the code. We would just log in to see what was going on. When Kayla and Justin were at the other place, and Kayla actually went there as well. Kids are kids. We would log in to check to see what was going on. Now they started in the daycares, and now it's in most of the schools. I know in Harris County, you can just log into the classroom to see what's going on. Some of these teachers are disgustingly nasty. Some of them just don't care. The students that need help, they ignore. But instead of making everybody feel inclusive, they like to alienate kids. And you don't do that to a child. I remember when Nathan was living in San Antonio, he would put money on Justin and Kayla's books, for their lunch, whatever. They were always buying kids, other kids that didn't have what they had, like if they bought ice cream or they bought this, they were always buying stuff for other kids. Nate would get mad because every time he turned around, he had to put more money. He was like, what the hell is going on? And they were explaining, and just like Kayla was here, she doesn't want to see people on the street begging. She was like, Grandma, how much money you got in your wallet? I'm like, Kayla, I have. And I said, oh my God. I said, so I would give, and she was like, she would take everything. I just started carrying like $5 or $10 because she would see somebody on the street when we passed this homeless encampment, and she would just give them my money.
She had a good heart, though. That's a
Yep.
show. See, I will say this though, this was back in the early 2000s.
Look what Drea said. Drea said, we have cameras, but no access for parents. They show the videos though. See, we had access. They would give you a code and you would just be able to check in.
I don't even know if we have cameras, Miss Heidi.
You have to these days.
And
especially with everything that's going on. But they've had those cameras in there. Let me see. Chris is 20. So he was 5, 6. So they've had cameras there for like 16 years in these schools. This is why I only teach little people. I can't do big kids anymore. I have no pay. See, but when you're seeing all of these teachers like this, like the few teachers in Texas that I covered a few months back, when they were having, inappropriate relationships with students. Okay. This is crazy. This is crazy. But wait a minute. I wanted to show you guys this. Hold on, Charlie. Let me just show you this video right here real quick.
He is walking into the courtroom right now if we're going to be able to take this.
So this is Robert Henson walking into the courtroom. I want you to see him walking out. Now his brother, hold on. His brother was escorted out. That caused a ruckus because they didn't want the brother in the courtroom to be there for Robert. This was a whole mess.
This moment.
Look at him. He's eyeing each and every one of them. Look at him. So that's his brother. That's the ruckus that's going on outside the courtroom. Do you hear this? This is the brother. This is outside the courtroom. Look, I'm taking pictures. Look. The brother had the wool hat on. Look at him. They're pulling him out. Look. That was his brother.
Okay, so let's try to armchair quarterback what we believe is going on here right now. So Hinton was escorted by police from Claremont County into the courtroom right here.
Ohio again. Look, Claremont County.
Why is it always going down in Ohio? But at the same time, if that's the guy whose son got unalived, right?
Yep, by the cops.
The commotion right outside.
That's their nephew. You know what I'm saying? That's
yep, and he wanted to be in court for his brother. Okay? They stopped him for coming in that court. And all the family members, I got to find that. That's outside.
With police officers then quickly escorting Hinton back out, likely for his own safety. His attorney remaining in the courtroom there with the judge.
That was for their
it wasn't
safety.
for Hinton's safety. It was not for his safety. Where is his family? Hold on.
That was what his family wasn't going to do nothing to him. That wasn't for his safety.
Nope. So here it is right here.
They didn't want to riot. That's what it was.
Yep. So, commotion outside the court. So they're pushing the brother out. This is the family. That's the brother right here. Look at him. That's the family.
Still doing excessive force.
He wants to be in court for his brother. He's telling him, I want to be there for my brother.
Come on, man. Y'all cool. I just want my brother to see me.
He wanted his brother to see him.
I just want my brother to see me. My brother can't see me. They did this shit before. They did this shit before. They did it before. I got video of them messing with my brother and me before. I ain't do nothing. I just wanted my brother to see me.
He didn't do nothing. Nothing.
I ain't do nothing. He talking about that's my family. That's my family and that's too. Doing all that. And see me what on what, man. I got 40 motherfuckers there for my brother, man.
And did you hear what he just said? That they had been messing with his brother and him before this. So they have been literally, and I've seen this happen if somebody tries to take up a case against like a sheriff's department or something like that, or a police department, how they'll go after him constantly trying to catch him on any charge they can. I've seen them just sit there and, like, if they pull off from the curve, stop them constantly, harassment and stuff like that. So he just said basically they've been harassing him and his brother. Right around the time of where he's at in front of the cameras, when he's talking to the lady, the lady cop.
Here, because when she rubbed his back, it was right here. See, that's that lady cop right there. So right about here.
Yeah, it was right about there when he says it. He says, they've been harassing me and my brother, and I just wanted my brother to see that I was there.
Yep. So you got to remember the day before they had watched that body cam footage. The whole family was there. They wouldn't let him go in. He was in court to show his brother support. Well, he was trying to go to show his brother support. What is he going to do in court? What is he going to do? Start shooting? You can't get into court with a gun. This was crazy. This was outside while his brother was being hanged. This is the commotion. But when he was inside the court, he saw his brother, right? He saw him. He was trying to get a good look at his brother. But
he was probably trying to see if his brother had any marks on him.
Yep.
Because they've retaliated against him.
Yep. So here we go.
That breaking news, the man charged with murdering Hamilton County Sheriff's Deputy Larry Henderson has been denied.
Well, of course he's denied bail.
Killing him. Now, just a matter of seconds after Rodney Hinton Jr. entered the courtroom, an outburst. A man came to the front claiming he was Hinton's brother, trying to get his attention. This is what happened.
Have a seat.
He's looking to see who's there. my brother. You say that's my brother. You wouldn't even let him go in. Everybody else is there. You got they surrounded this man.
Yeah, now the outburst goes on. Hinton is escorted out of the courtroom. They finally get things under control, and Hinton returns to the court for this hearing to hold him on no bond. It's a special hearing. It requires evidence to be presented. A prosecution called a Cincinnati police detective who said Hinton had been at the police station to meet with the chief and to see body cam of police from the day before. That body cam showed officers shooting Hinton's son, Bryan Hinton, to death. And it came as they stopped the stolen car. After leaving that scene and seeing this video, the detective said Hinton was very emotional. Family didn't even want him to drive home. He didn't, but he came back later to get his car, and then he headed to the detective said Hinton was very...
Let me stop this. He was running away. Hi, Snuggle Bunny. They shot him in the back. 18 years old. Shot him in the back. They said they heard metal hit the ground. It looked like, but he wasn't turning around to shoot it. He was running. Yes, they found a gun. They found a gun in his pocket. They found a gun. He wasn't showing, but they said the officer feared for his life. I can understand that. I can. You heard metal clink. I can understand it. He was running away. Same like that other black guy they shot 70-something times and 50-something bullets hit him in the back.
Emotional. Family didn't even want him to drive home. He didn't, but he came back later to get his car, and then he headed to the area of the UC campus where Deputy Larry Henderson was directing traffic for the UC graduation. The detective said Hinton picked out the first officer he saw and accelerated toward him.
Through the intersection, directly at where Deputy Henderson was standing, and struck Deputy Henderson and the metal utility pole on the northeast corner of the intersection.
Okay. So my thought is when I first heard this, I said he was emotional. He wasn't concentrating. He wasn't thinking. But when they said he backed up and aligned his car with the deputy, so they must have they must have the footage from the street or whatever. They said he backed up and aligned his car with the deputy. And he could claim temporary insanity. He could. But the father who killed the guy in the airport when they were bringing him back for sexually assaulting and killing his child, he killed him in the airport. He never went to court. Well, he went, but then they dropped the charges. Temporary insanity. And to me, and the first thing I thought, an eye for an eye.
Were there any evidence of skid marks?
No, there were no indications at any point that he tried to brake, stop, or otherwise avoid Deputy Henderson.
I think the conduct in question is classic mental illness criminal conduct. It's always intentional, it's bold, it's conspicuous.
I don't know that...
That's a hallmark sign that somebody is not in their right frame of mind, no attempt to deceive, no attempt to hide what they did.
Yeah, so that was Clyde Bennett. That is Hinton's attorney. He made no secret that he's going to use mental health as part of his defense in this case. And in the end, he didn't even argue with the idea of not having bond for Hinton. In fact, the only thing he requested was that he gets mental health while he's in the Claremont County Jail.
If you had to watch the body cam video of your child being gunned down, would you be in your right state of mind?
Nope, and I would be after any person who I thought was involved in it.
But that officer was innocent. Okay, he wasn't even involved in it. He had retired. He was just working as, I forgot what they call them. You know, he retired, but
cross guard.
Well, no, he was working as a traffic cop, but he had already retired, and he was still doing service for the police. Now, he was consultant, whatever you want to call them these days. Yeah,
in one sense, I understand the father's plight,
but
like
that's an
seeing that
innocent
being crazy.
officer.
But at the same time, that's what I was about to say. At the same time, that was an innocent person. You would think that you would know which cops were involved in the situation and which one pulled that trigger.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And go after that person, not some innocent dude who's just literally sitting there doing a crossing guard duty. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. But to me, when I first heard it, I said, oh my God. I said, this man couldn't think. He had lost control of his car. But then when I heard, I said, baby, that was an eye for an eye. That's exactly what it was. You took mine, I'm going to take yours. But this was an innocent officer. An innocent officer. It's like these people that are, like you're trying to shoot at somebody, but you're shooting up a crowd and all these other innocent people around you get hit and die. You know what I mean? So,
That's the only reason, like on this case, I would say that you're going to have some people that are for him and some that are against because here's the thing. If that had been the officer that had pulled the trigger, everybody would be on his side, right? But
yep,
because that was an innocent cop who didn't have anything to do with that situation, right? He didn't deserve to be unalived for a situation
nope,
that had nothing to do with him.
I feel bad for everybody around. If that young man would have but they said that. Now I want to see the other body cam. They only released the one where it showed when he fell and then he took off running. They didn't show the other officer's body cam video to us. At least we haven't seen it yet to see if he turned in an aggressive manner, but he was shot in the back. My thing is, he said I never heard that officer tell him to stop. I never heard the other officer say stop on that video. He just kept running. He fell, got up. He didn't turn the gun towards him. He just kept running. Hi, Kale. Hi, sweetie. How you doing, baby? He just kept running. You
Well,
shot him in the
also,
back.
if you think about this and stuff, and if you're playing, when you are like, let's say you're a soldier, right, and you have a PTSD moment, it don't even have to be a person that was involved in the situation.
Exactly.
Like, let's say you went to war and you were in the Korean War, right? And I know that my great uncle had problems with like seeing certain races of people because it would throw him back into wartime. And he would go through a PTSD moment. So let's say it's a PTSD moment. And even though that innocent cop was just at the wrong place, the wrong time, right? Let's say it just starts replaying in your head a cop doing that to your child, right? Regardless of the situation. And you're sitting there steadily just getting madder and madder and madder, and that your child was unalived. And you're not, sometimes you're not thinking correctly, and it could have been a PTSD moment.
And I'm thinking that too. But then, okay, how would you felt if he would have got a gun and went to that police station and just started opening fire? That would be intense. It's both senseless. Both murders are senseless.
Yes.
Both of them.
And you don't have to stoop to someone else's level always.
You don't.
Because it's like with this, there's two ways to look at this case, right?
The son shouldn't have been stealing no damn Kia. He shouldn't have had a gun. All of this, I should have, would have, whatever. It's too late now. Your son put you in this predicament. You know
and
what
now
I mean?
So many people are unalived. You know what I'm saying? Like that cop didn't deserve that. He didn't have nothing to do with that situation. Then you have in this situation.
And that young man shouldn't have ran from the cops. I'm sorry. He shouldn't have.
No, and this is the crazy part about in today's world. You know what I'm saying? You have people who are doing messed up things, but then you think about that's just a father loving his child regardless of what his child's done. And so it's like there's a lot of, it's like a domino effect, right? And a lot of the situation in it, like each person, you can feel their side, right? And be like, this is heartbreaking. And now so many people's lives because of that one instance now is affected. The dad's going to possibly be on death row. The cop who didn't do anything is unalived. And now his family has to deal with that. Their family has to deal with that situation. There could be possible retaliation against the family because, you know what I'm saying, from not good cops. So you've got like a spread out situation from one incident. You know, that's why also I will say, in my opinion, that cops should also be. There was this one case I was watching where this lady cop, the dude had stopped the car, whatnot, and she reached in and she thought he was fixing to try to start up the car and run away. She thought she had pulled out her taser. No, she accidentally pulled out her Glock.
Girl, okay, I remember that case, and that was no accident. She was just released last year. Your taser has a totally different feel. That's why they found her guilty. But then she didn't serve all of her time. Okay? And then come to find out they had no reason to stop him. None. Wait a minute. Your comment wasn't just curious why I didn't realize that. Wendy, your comment wasn't removed. I'm looking at it. YouTube actually censors some comments.
Yeah,
Your
if you
comment
use
was not removed. I'm looking right in my studio. No one removed your comment. No one. It's not even showing unhide. YouTube censors certain things.
Yeah, if you are using, I know Miss Wendy probably didn't use any dirty language, but if
No,
there's
but yeah,
certain
I don't even see
words,
her comment.
there's
And I'm
certain.
looking in my studio. When I saw her comment, I went up. My mods are not going to remove her comment. So I'm looking. So YouTube censored whatever you said. They didn't let it come through because it's not even showing me to hide or show. So yeah, it's not there. And any one of my mods can see if another mod removed a comment or timed you out, honey. And that didn't happen. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sweetie.
Oh, I was just telling Miss Wendy that it happens. Sometimes you have to misspell certain words, like even erder. You have to put M. I put MX.
Yep.
Like I'll put an X in a word so that YouTube doesn't remove it, because there are certain words like suicide, erder, different things like
Yep.
that you actually have to misspell. And I know us grammar people hate that stuff, and but there's certain words YouTube will just automatically. You can't even, like, the channel holder won't even see the comment.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Automatically takes it.
Yep, I don't see it. And then sometimes what it'll do, it'll say show or hide. I don't even see show or hide. Charlie, you have a wrench too. Do you see it?
I have a wrench?
I thought you had a wrench, Charlie. I gave you a wrench.
Let me comment and see.
Hold on. I gave you a wrench. I thought I did because you were putting links and stuff in my chat that day. I gave you a wrench. Remember?
Oh, I'm not blue, but
no, Charlie, you had a wrench.
I don't know. YouTube could have been me.
Hold on. Yeah, that was you, because remember you were dropping the links and stuff in my chat. And I know Arkansas have a wrench too, if I'm not
mistaken.
I
know Arkansas has a wrench.
Yeah, but I gave you a wrench too. I just gave you a wrench. So see if it's there. I swore I gave you a wrench.
I don't see anything being removed or being able to say yes or no or hide or unhide or any of that. And you can, as a moderator, see that stuff.
Yeah.
And
that's why I was asking. I said, Charlie, you have a wrench. You should be able to see it too. But no, it's not there. But this whole situation is really sad. And I feel for everybody. But that young man, again, took off running. I want to see the other body cam video.
We need to see what happened before.
Yeah. Well, no.
After.
No, because we saw what happened before. When he fell by the dumpsters, we heard the metal clink. It looked like it was a gun in his hand, but then he took off running. I want to see the body cam where they actually unalived him. You know what I mean? I want to hear what commands were given. I want to hear if they told him to stop. Because the other one didn't show that. It didn't show it. He kept
I
running.
agree with Snuggle Bunny. The police officers do need to have more training. That's what I was leading into what I was saying. They need better training, and we also, running is not good. If you
Well, let's just think about it. Let's think about it. Darnell was hit in the arm. They unloaded what, 3 or 4, pop, pop, pop. 4, what, 3, pop, 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 pop. 4 shots. They hit him in the arm and the shoulder. They didn't unalive him, and they thought he had a gun.
Yeah, I think
And
that
that's Ohio too.
I've seen like you said with the lady who unalived that gentleman in front of his mom. She
Yep.
knew she knew you could tell a difference between a GUN and a taser, right? You could feel the
it
difference.
wasn't in front of his mom. He had called his mom on the phone to tell her he was being, and then the judge even said they had no reason to stop him. None.
Just thinking about though the situation, how many of this we see happening, right? That's why I say better training. They do have more things out there than just tasers, because tasers can also be very dangerous. What if a person has a pacemaker and you don't know it? Or like they have something for their kidneys? Because there's a lot of things that they put in us that if you get hit with electricity of any kind can stop the function of it and unalive you. What if somebody has a seizure disorder and they don't know about it? So they do have these bean bag pows nowadays that it hurts when they hit you with it. It hurts enough to make you want to keel over and grab your tummy and go ow, and which can still lead to some problems for certain people, but it's a lot better than vice versa, unaliving someone with a pow, right? There are different things, and like being able to teach like some of the things like soldiers know, like how to take somebody down without putting too much pressure on their neck or their back. There was this one dude they took down. I don't know if you saw it, but they absolutely he became paralyzed from the neck down, and not even 2 years later passed away.
Yep. I did see that. But let's finish listening to this, and then I want you to hear Lisa, and then we're gonna go.
Reporting live, Brian Hamrick, WLWT News 5.
And typically these no bond hearings do require a higher burden of proof. Brian, was there any evidence presented?
Yeah.
It's they call it clear and convincing evidence is what they need. It's like a step down from it's just part of the legal process there. They did not bring in evidence. What they did do is they talked about this video that they had. There are 2 videos. There's one from a bus that shows the entire encounter, and then there's another one from a security camera that shows part of that encounter.
Okay.
So that will be held for trial.
Okay, that's what they showed, because they said he backed up and aligned with the officer and then took off right at him. So I don't even know if the cops tried to get out the way or not. But when he hit that pole, he could have killed. Did you see that car?
In driving into a crowd, so many innocent people could have been taken out that had nothing to do with anything at all.
We're now getting a closer look at how deputies from Claremont County interacted with
Hold on, go ahead. I had to stop it. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I was just saying that he could have unalived so many innocent people doing that also that had nothing to do with anything at all.
Okay, so I haven't seen this video yet. Let's take a look at this one.
Rodney Hinton Jr. You see the video playing out behind me. This is the man accused of killing Deputy Henderson after he was released from the hospital, booked into jail, and later taken to court. WCPO 9 News reporter Sean Delancey breaks down the body cam footage.
Officers and deputies enter a Cincinnati police holding cell where Rodney Hinton Jr. is sleeping.
Wake up. Wake up.
Still in his hospital gown, Claremont County deputies called to bring Hinton to their jail in Batavia, shackle the man accused of killing Hamilton County Sheriff's Deputy Larry Henderson just hours earlier.
Are you going to stand on your own? Try.
Deputies take Hinton to the Claremont County Jail,
We're going to go in this door over here.
where another deputy ran him through a series of questions about his mental and physical state.
I'm going to ask you some questions. Do you have a serious medical or mental health issue that needs immediate attention? that a yes or a no? Have you recently considered attempted suicide? No. You want to hurt yourself or anybody else? No.
In court Tuesday, Hinton's defense attorney requested a mental competency evaluation for him. The attorney argued that Hinton was mentally ill at the time. Police say he hit and killed Deputy Larry Henderson.
Wait a minute. That's what I wanted you to see. Look at this car.
He is lucky he even made it out of that.
Because they first said that he was in serious condition. They were talking about him, not the officer. Look at this car.
I'm going to say this. I think technically he was wanting to take out somebody and himself.
Yep, me too. Look at this car.
He's very lucky that he's even okay, because if you look at that car, he should not be here.
I don't think he wanted to be here. I think he wanted to. Yep, I do. But look at this. Look, and he hit that and it bounced. Girl.
He hit and killed Deputy Larry Henderson with his car.
I want to make certain that this young man is treated as a mentally ill person and not as a cop killer.
An official evaluation will have to wait until an indictment. However, the judge did recommend that Henderson have all mental health resources available to him while in custody. The rest of the new video shows deputies transporting him to the jail. Small snippets of conversation. Polite.
Leave his hands go for a second. My hands up, please.
Each move.
I got your back for balance. I got your back.
Law enforcement.
Boy, they are making sure to record all of this. Okay? They have to. Because this is a cop, no matter how you look at it, he's a cop killer. Mm-hmm. Do you know how many officers want to get a hold of him? This is a cop killer.
Doing whatever possible.
Ready? Step down slow.
To ensure Hinton isn't further injured as he faced a judge for the first time and is returned to the jail.
Take your time. Take your time. Ready? Yep.
They're recording everything.
Right? One more. There you go.
He's being held here without bond, facing aggravated murder charges. Sean Delancey, WCPO 9 News.
Did you see that?
Yeah, he's.
And we're here for
what it shows me is he's got some, health conditions from that wreck. Something like, he's real hurt because they're trying to make sure he don't hurt himself more. And also, another reason they're probably recording every single interaction is so that they can't say that the police treated him unjustly.
That's why they're recording everything. And, they probably have some officers that they won't even let around him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that man could have died. And he's in pain. Because that card tells the story. Hi, Shady Acres. How are you? Shady Acres has a channel here on YouTube. And you do a lot of gaming and stuff with that channel. But Shady Acres, I know from TikTok. But I did started following him from TikTok, and that was like a couple of months back. But let me just play you Miss Lisa. So I want to play this for you guys because I want you guys to hear how desperate she is for money. And when she doesn't get the money that she's requesting. So when I heard this recording, okay, I'm going to stop it real quick. When I heard this recording, I went in her chat when she went live yesterday, and I told her she was a vile piece of shit, and she should have been in that house fire that she wanted somebody else's child to die in because they wouldn't give her money. This woman is a psycho.
Yeah, I've been watching you and Miss Lady Red and Miss Chantel all playing her stuff. This lady's crazy as all get out.
But I want you to hear this. Yeah, I want you to hear it. Okay, here we go. Why isn't it playing?
Mother is a fucking whore. You cunt ass, retarded ass, stupid ass bitch. You hear me? I hope your daughter dies in a fucking fire and burns slowly, bitch, and suffers. Suffers, cunt. Do you understand me, bitch? I hope your fucking son and daughter starve to death. You hear me? starve to death, and then burn in a fire slowly. Along with you, you stupid, ugly, fat, retarded cunt. Have a good day, bitch.
So she wants to call somebody names, right? But she wants them to give her money. Okay? She wants money. The woman said she didn't have any money. That's the message she left on somebody's phone. So when she was asked about it, she says, what about the messages that she left me? Girl, we saw the text messages you sent to her. We saw the messages.
That woman is crazy.
This is what she said to this woman. And if anybody thinks this woman is not still using drugs, you've got issues and you have problems. She is an addict. She is in active addiction. Active addiction. Let me just show you this.
I mean, she's showing it in her own words. Like, here's the thing: if you pay attention, just the videos you have showed me, you can see it in how she acts, how she speaks. And the reason she gets this way with people who don't give in to her and give her money is because she's not getting her fix, and she's violent when she doesn't get it. You know what I'm saying? And you can see it. Like, even when she's begging people for money, she's like, oh, I don't have any food. No, you don't have your addiction.
Oh, fucking hell, guys.
But hold on a second. That's not the one. Here's the one that I want to show you. Take that down. You see her fingers. Oh, you can't really see it in here. Why? I don't want to promote shit. I don't know why they do this. Okay. I don't want to promote anything. I don't want to promote anything. So, okay. Look at her fingers. Look at her fingers. Look at her nails. Black from soot, from crack. That's her fingers.
And you can also tell in her mannerisms, like when she gets it, you can tell because she's more calm versus when she doesn't have it. You can also tell by how tired she sounds all the time. Like, you could just hear the addiction.
So here's the one right before that one, okay? Here's the one.
Oh, fucking hell, guys. I can't do this anymore. I just want to eat, man. It's so fucking...
I think when she says, I want to eat, I want to smoke is what she's saying.
Yep.
She's in pain because she ain't got it.
Nothing.
People have tried. Oh, here we go. This person is so...
Her cheeks are sunken in. She looks like death itself. Okay?
Well, if you hear that, right? If you listen to her, she's doing the crying thing because she's in pain because she doesn't have her addiction. She, like, you know, when a person goes through withdrawals, that's what she's going through at that moment. And you can hear it in her. She's like, I want food. No, you want your addiction because your stomach's hurting. And the reason your stomach's hurting is because you don't have your addiction. And she's always talking about eating lollipops.
She's not eating.
Stuff.
She doesn't eat. And then she sits there. One day she said that Kunini's takes better care of her than her parents, right? So here's what I told her. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna have to stop. I'm gonna have to stop the song. So I did this for all of her enablers, right? And Lady Red did a really good video the other day, and I watched it. She did like it was 3 lives in one. I put up a post. I said, hey, hashtag Lisa Richard and her enablers. I said, number 1, it's your fault you're in this situation. You did nothing to get yourself together after your first eviction from the apartment. Number 2, you cried that your dad, mom, and kids don't care. Then a few hours later, you want everyone to believe that your dad texted you to say he was sorry he couldn't help you, right? That's a lie. I told her, I said, you're getting to the clinic, the hotel, eating falls on you, not in you, on you. No one owes you anything is what I told her. And then I told her, I said, take a look at any window or mirror before you attempt to criticize anyone with their own home, car, and family. I did. I was so mad at her. And get that out the way. I don't want that. So I did that. And I told her, I said, grow up and stop begging, as she says, kind people to take care of a 40-year-old rackhead. That's what she's doing. She's a 40-year-old crackhead.
We do have nice people who like to support content creators, right? But
Yeah, but
that's
she
out of
gets
the
these
goodness.
older people, Charlie, these older people that are living on a fixed income. Allegedly, I haven't seen the proof yet. Over Easter, she took 300 from one woman, an elderly woman, and that's in stage 1 of Alzheimer's dementia, and 100 from another elderly person. I still haven't seen the proof on that yet.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, with people, they don't have to give you anything. It's their choice if they choose to, right? And you shouldn't expect people to go to the broke house to support you. You're a grown adult.
$30 in the morning. She used to do $30 in the morning, $30 in the afternoon, $30 in the evening to eat. Bitch, I don't eat on $30 a day. It's less than that for me to eat.
And 3 times a day, 4 times a day. No, you sitting there, you're trying to get your fix. We all know that. And you could tell. You could just tell by the way she acts, the way she... I wouldn't give that woman a red cent because I would not fuel her addiction. You're literally paying for someone to, even, let's say, devil's advocate, right? I got you, Miss Heidi.
Okay.
Let's say devil's advocate, right? You think you're helping someone who is less fortunate, right? Why, if you did care about her, would you want to give her the money to go get that addiction and steadily unalive herself? And if you forced her not to have the money and didn't give it, she would have no choice but to get clean or deal with the after effects. If you really, let's say, did care about this person as a content creator, I would not give her any money because you're basically just fueling the addiction. You're making it worse on her. You're literally giving her the money to unalive herself. You're just saying, here, go put all this in your veins and smoke it and do this and do that. And, so when you know someone's in active addiction, you do not give them money. You say, well, I'll go to the store and I'll buy you some food. You know what I'm saying? Or I'll set up to where you can go pick up. I'll order you some food and you can go pick it up. But I'm not giving you any kind of cash, money, or anything like that. Because I've seen this before. There was a person that was around in a sector and they were begging for something. And the person said, well, I'll buy you the item. And you pick it up. And they didn't want that because they
didn't want it.
Money.
She wants money. And then one lady actually got her on the phone, and she said that, hold on, she admits, hold on, I'm going to play this for you. She admits that she knows she's committing extortion. She admits it, okay? So
this lady right here is crazy
compared to what you did. You've extorted people, and that's criminal. So you're looking at 5 to 15 years in the penitentiary. That's why you need to go in-house.
Well, what happens if I go in-house, though? They'll get me when I get out, or what?
No.
If they can do it, I'd want more than that.
Yeah, they'll do it in an environment where you're safe. But Lisa...
literally, Miss English, I would like...
So she's talking to English that goes by the name of Phenomenal Woman. She's talking to English. So she's admitting she knows what she's doing, okay?
About sending me money, and once I get the money, whether it's from them or somebody else, I literally sit here and cry and be like, I just bullied them out of money.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause I'm not that type of person normally. Like, I'm not at all. Like, I have been...
They're so afraid that you're gonna, and I put my stuff out there because I was so afraid too, that you were gonna put all my things out there. I was terrified. So I went ahead and put my stuff out there myself. Yeah, this is the money I sent her. I sent to landlord, whatever it was, and this other one, and then that's when Craig was like, yo, he said, hey, cuz, you fucking with the wrong people. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's the reason that I know more about you than I should.
I mean, that's okay. Like, I don't really hide anything. I know. What's on there that people know I do. And the thing I really thought about since I've been homeless was the Baltimore thing, because I wasn't getting any help, and I figured, damn, like...
Did you really fall? No. Did you really fall? Or
yeah, I really fell on the yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right there. because you told them you sent me something before. Why don't you send me something now? Okay, you won't. Here you go. And you sent all this stuff out. So extortion happened just this morning at 1:00.
They sent $1 on the PayPal yesterday, not friends and family on purpose. So I couldn't eat. That's what I was pissed about.
But you're not eating, and everybody knows you're not eating.
Okay,
so you hear that, right? Everybody knows you're not eating. But that's what she tells people. And now she's playing this homeless role. Now, your mother, your father, your sisters, your brother, your older kids want nothing to do with you. If you were hungry, you couldn't tell me your daughters wouldn't buy you a meal or a pizza. They have washed their hands of you. You and your mother were giving Klonopins to your 16 or 17-year-old son.
She deserves
You were
prison.
feeding his drug addiction. And you know those kids' father died from an OD. You are not even trying to do better for yourself. She stinks so bad you can smell her coming through the damn screen. That's how bad it is. She is pathetic. She's not a mother. She's worse than Lori. Well, she and Lori about what and what. You're going to have to meet Lori, too. New Orleans, he told me, he said, no, she don't buy food out of here. So Hanini's, the place where she says that she goes and get hoagies, they said she don't buy food out of there.
I just got a chicken wrap from there the other day.
Yeah, but the whole, in February, he said he didn't. You were buying stuff for other people, and then they would give you what you wanted in return. That's what she was doing. It's game.
Well, no, he's over there now. He works till 4. Usually I get food at like nighttime when the Arabian guy's there.
So the Arabian guy, she just told you, gives her food. She doesn't need money. But when she gets money, she buys stuff for other people to get her rock.
Okay. So that might be why, but that might be why.
Exactly.
I buy snacks and stuff during the day, though.
Lisa, the pizzas, the gift cards, the stuff all of that stuff has been recorded and other people have sent it in. Plus, the thing about it is they've been watching you and they've got enough. And it's not, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. You can try to wait till tomorrow. You think you got till tomorrow? You're probably not going to have till tomorrow because they know where you are. That commander, I played the recording. If you go on my page, you can listen to it. That commander. He says they are fully aware of where you are, and but today when I talk to him, if I call him, I'm at work today. I'm gonna go, and then that Monday, you know what you said online? You said I never had any intention of going. So that right there is theft by deception.
By deception. Yeah. And you're right. I'm sorry. You are right.
Because that whole weekend, you were like, from Saturday to Sunday, Miss English, if you help me, Miss English, and I sent to help you get through. And then that Monday morning, and I've got it recorded, you said, I never had any intention of going. Had you not said that, I wouldn't have had anything like that. But
I did want to go, but I wasn't planning on going, but they make me so mad on there.
So now she's blaming TikTok, okay? She blames TikTok for everything. She blames TikTok for everything.
She won't take responsibility.
She doesn't take responsibility for anything she does, Charlie. Nothing.
When you see a person's family wash their hands of a person, there is something seriously bad that happened there. Because families don't just go for no reason and go, I don't want nothing to do with you. I had to do that with my sister, who is a drug addict, because she wouldn't get clean.
So her father. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
When they won't get clean, the only thing you can do as the family member is wash your hands and say, until you decide that you're done, I'm done with you. And when you decide that you want to do better, I'll be there. But you got to cut them cold turkey and let them hit rock bottom.
So let me tell you, before this, her father was going to the hospital all the time, right? When Lisa was living with them. Do you know, since the father and the mother have moved and the father hasn't been back to the hospital, people are speculating that she was taking his pain pills or whatever. Don't know. I'm not going to put that out there because there's no proof of that. But that man was going back and forth to the hospital all the time because of the stress And I'm telling you, it was stress because of her and her habit. I mean, there's a recording out there on Kim Reyes' channel. It's called Gossip Thoughts, THOTS, where the mother and father were telling her they have plenty of food in the house. That's when she was living there. Plenty of food in the house. Save your money for your cigarettes and stuff like that. But they were telling her she wanted to sell her other Klonopins, and her mother was telling her how much to charge for them. So the mother isn't innocent at all.
And I'm surprised the police ain't did something, because you admitting to a crime on the internet, and I'm surprised nobody turned that in, because that right there.
English did. English did.
Well, there's two things about that. They could get her cut off from her doctors, right? Where they would give her another thing for that.
Well, she was kicked out of one clinic, okay? Then she went to another one. And allegedly now they're tapering her down because she was on 122 milligrams, but allegedly she was filming in the clinic and they got caught. So she's on a 30-day taper down, which don't know if it's true or not, but the woman, Alicia is her name. She goes to the same clinic. And she's the one that put it out there. She knows Lisa. Lisa goes to the clinic every morning. Lisa gets up there lying about she needs an Uber. Now, you too good to walk to the clinic, right? You need an Uber to get to the clinic. You need an Uber or a jitney, okay, which is a taxi, I take it, to get to the clinic because you don't need to walk. And then she says that TikTok made her famous. No, girl. TikTok made you infamous because you are a vile piece of shit. And I just happened to catch her live yesterday. I went right in that chat and told her she was a vile, disgusting piece of shit. This is the same woman that gave her son stage 4 brain cancer, killed her daddy 3 or 4 times, killed her imaginary daughter in a hotel, in an abandoned house in Baltimore. Same woman who gives her 16 or 17-year-old drugs because she doesn't want him to go out on the street and get it. What kind of mother are you?
I'm going to say this right now. If I was in, she may be glad I ain't in her area, because that would just be on principle. I'm saying every time I saw her. But like a person like that, you can't give them anything. You can't even go buy them something that they absolutely need.
She doesn't want
because they'll take it back for money.
And that's what she does when they put money there. And she keeps telling people she doesn't have her Chime card. Girl, you're lying. You have that card. Or you can go in that store, buy them something. And then she says she's allergic to ground beef. Just last week, she was saying she wished she had a hamburger. Girl, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, how you allergic but eating a hamburger now? That
don't make no sense. I'll eat anything. Okay, they sent you cream of mushroom. That's a soup. Eat that.
When you hungry, I'm gonna say even the most pickiest person. I'm one of the most pickiest people. You will eat anything. You will put ketchup on bread. You will eat bread by itself. You're gonna do what you gotta do to eat.
Yep. Charlie, you need to get over to TikTok, girl. I'm telling you. You got Beth, who was on yesterday, talking about what's going on in society. And she's one of the biggest con artist beggars. She was on there. And she was asking for, oh, damn. Girl, look at the views I got on these videos of her. 5,955, 6,167. God damn, Heidi. Okay, so anyway, I'm telling you, every time I see her, I just want to take a flight and go, because she said that she has long legs and she can kick in the door. Bitch, I'm going to get a hotel right down the street. Well, I don't know if I want to be in that area, but I'm going to tell you where I'm at so you could come kick my door in. All 85 pounds of you, and see if I don't break something or you don't break something. She's disgusting. She's lost all 4 of her kids, one time or the other. This last time she just lost her son to the paternal grandparents, which is where her older son stays at as well. And that 16 or 17-year-old has gone through rehab. Because of his addiction, because of his mother.
I feel bad for the children involved because they didn't ask for her as a mother. You know what I'm saying? Every child deserves a parent, but not every parent deserves a child.
That's true.
And those kids are set up from failure with that type of situation because their parents are the ones getting them on the drugs.
That's
Like,
true.
why would you want your kid to go through what you're going through? That
Yep.
makes no sense to
And
me
you
as
were
a
just
parent.
talking about breaking the cycle, right? So her
Yep.
daughter Abby moved out. Abby had a little problem as well, but Abby's had a baby now. She's with her boyfriend. Her older daughter Nikki, she was trying to get Nikki to get her a hotel room. Her daughter refused to do it. So if your own family has turned their back on you, why do you expect, as a grown ass woman, for the internet to take care of you and your habit, your addiction? That is your problem. It's your problem to get to the clinic. It's your problem if you're not eating. And then she was going on for a week. Oh, she had a job. She was working at a grocery store. Girl, who in the fuck would hire you smelling the way you do? Telling people she had her boss's cell phone when all the time. And she said it's her mom's phone. But then she slips up and says that her sister Ronnie sent her a message because her mom was worried about her. So I'm like, so why didn't her mom just call her cell phone if she was so worried about it? If you let her talk long enough, she tells on herself. Last weekend, she had everybody believing she was in Baltimore at a rehab. And when I had talked to my son, she said it was pouring down raining in Baltimore. Girl, they were getting ready to go to the Inner Harbor, which is in Baltimore, and it was 85 degrees. These people sit there and they feel sorry for a crackhead. And they see everybody that's being rude to her. And she reads out the rude comments on purpose so people can send her money. That's what she does. But you got to get over to TikTok, Charlie. Please get over to TikTok.
Yeah, because I've been watching you, Miss Chantel, and Miss Lady Red on this lady. And
Yep.
I'm over here like, first off, the way she talks to people, I wouldn't give her one red cent.
Nope.
I wouldn't even like I would totally disengage with her like totally after a certain point. Now, I understand why y'all are spreading awareness about her to keep people with a good heart from, accidentally falling for the situation, because if you don't know the past or what she's done, but the way she even talks
All they
in the
have to
first
do is
5
Google
seconds,
her name.
yeah, and all they gotta do is watch the live for 5
Yep.
seconds, and the way she talks to people, and I'd be like, no ma'am, no sir, like,
Nope.
no.
Nope. And then she always starts that fake ass crying. Okay. Nobody's fucking sending. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, she went the fuck off the other day. And I was like, bitch, couldn't be me. All you motherfuckers that was sending. And that girl, that's the way she talks.
Mm-mm.
That's the way she talks.
I'm gonna
So
say this, this as a content creator. If we get sent anything, if we get a super chat, if we get a membership, no matter what it is, we're super grateful for every little thing of a person supporting us because they don't have to do that.
nope.
That's the kindness of their heart to do
Oh my
so.
God. Wait a minute. I forgot. I set a goal this morning, guys. I didn't get one red cent. Damn it. Lisa's getting all my money. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
Speaking of which, child, don't make me think about it. I got to do it. I've been forgetting stuff. I got ADHD. So right now I'm doing something. You'll see it pop up in a minute.
Really? What you doing? Oh my God. Thank you, Charlie.
I had to become a member because I've been meaning to do it, and I keep forgetting.
Thank you. You didn't have to, but thank you. I'm just like this woman. I was trying to find the one where she just went off the other day, cursing people out. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I want you to hear her. I want you to hear her. And then I was, Joran Vandersloot is back in the news too, but we're going to have to discuss that at a later date. Hold on. I actually want you to. So somebody sent her this AI drawing, right? Because this is the way she looks, right? And so she's using it now. This was Thursday.
Like I can't be in the fucking things all the time, man. I don't get the notifications. There'd be too many. My phone be going off all the time.
Lock the doors,
dude.
Drea.
My phone be going off all the time, dude.
Too.
My phone be going off all the time, dude.
Listen to her. Hold on. How come she's not talking right there? Yeah, her internet. See there? Oh, her internet. But she is horrible.
I mean, just from what I've heard from y'all's channels where y'all play her, I'm like, oh my God, is this lady like, she needs to be checked in a mental institution for real. Like she needs mandatory 5150 for rehab. Mandatory.
But she doesn't want to go. She wants your money. Hold on.
I wouldn't give her 2 pennies.
And calm the fuck down.
Okay, here she goes.
I'm so fucking tired of it. Different people.
Thank you, so done.
A lot of different people. Fuck with me, man. I'm tired of it. I'm so fucking tired of it, bro. Lisa 23XO. I need to get over there before Hanini leaves.
Oh, her voice is grating. I want to know how people listen to her and don't like need headache medicine afterward.
She goes on because she's not getting
please, so I can calm the fuck down. Perfect. Help, please, so I can calm the fuck down. The fuck down.
Thank you, Mari. Happy Mother's Day. I need to get with Debbie because we're probably going to do a quick live in the morning. But happy Mother's Day.
To everybody, every mother, grandmother,
every
fur
mother,
baby.
Every mother.
If you got fur babies, if you got kids that just call you mama, even if you ain't, had them naturally, it don't matter.
This bitch is crazy, okay? But it was one where then she was talking about the good Catholic people. Wait a minute, where is that one at? She was talking about how can you say you're Catholic if you don't give money? God's gonna make you pay. Girl, this bitch was going off. You see how many things? She's been doing this for years. Hold on, is this the one when she was talking about the good Catholic people? Her internet sucks right now.
She's probably using data or a cell phone.
Yep. But she was talking about how God's going to strike us down. And how do you call yourselves a good Catholic if you're watching somebody starve to death? Bitch! Are you serious? Hold on.
I can't believe people support her.
But they do. Hold on a second. Because
to me, that's unbelievable. The way she talks to people, how like she screams and tells people you gotta give, like I can't believe that anybody falls for it. And then hearing all the stuff she's done and how she's treated her kids.
My grandma helped you with black pants. I'm telling you guys that. You guys just aren't listening to me. Anybody who sends, if you send and you want to see like what's going on here with me, you're more than welcome to. I'm just not showing these clowns in the fucking chat trying to boss me around anything. So sorry, but if you guys want to see, you're more than welcome to see. I'll show you guys. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? If it's true, it's true. You know what I mean? If it's true, it's true. You know what I mean? So
she's a great Christian. She is.
If you want to, I'm more than willing to show you. I will. I'm not gonna show you the outside, but I'll show you the inside.
Hold on.
Like a bag lady.
Hold
so
on.
yeah,
so the guy comes in.
55. You had to show up right when I went live.
The guy comes in.
I can't tell you.
And he asks her if she's got stuff. Hold on. Yeah.
Wow. They make my blood pressure go so high. Nobody helps so I can stay up off here. Nobody. It's fine. They don't have to. I was hoping somebody would though. Oh. Who is it? I can't tell you. You can't come in.
So watch. He's gonna ask her if she's got stuff.
I can't tell you. You can't come in. Hold on a second. Oh my God, hold
That's
on.
the
Can't tell you can't
spoon.
come in. It's not my fucking
No,
house. So
they think that's the spoon. They think she's back doing heroin. What do you
That's
think?
what it sounded like to me. That was a spoon that hit the floor. That was straight up a spoon.
It was a spoon, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. And that's what they use it for. They use that straight up for, and she could be now. I will say, and she may be shooting up the meth. I've heard of people doing that, and the crack. I've heard people doing that. There was a girl who's now clean that I know, but she was diabetic, and she, instead of smoking it, was trying to hide it, and she was shooting it up like in between her toes and under her, like in places where you couldn't see the marks, right?
Uh-huh.
And that's how she was doing it one time. I have heard that people go from smoking it to shooting it up because it hits your bloodstream faster.
So let me tell you, everybody that heard that sound, they said it was a spoon.
Sounds like that to me. It made such a clatter. Here's the thing: a fork don't make that much of a clatter because it's got the holes between it, right? But when a spoon hits the floor, because it's got that big backside, it makes more of a racket. Like drop a fork and drop a spoon at the same time and listen to them. A fork's not going to make as much racket as the spoon because when it hits, it's just going to hit barely on the back and the tip of the fork, right? But with a spoon, there's a whole rounded side on the backside that hits first. So it's going to make more of a racket.
So, and they use the spoon because her fingers from that lighter, right? It's all black.
It could be she's shooting up under her fingernails too. And which would cause cell death, which would cause that look underneath her fingernails. They have been known to do that to try to hide it. They've been known to do it between the fingers. And you can do, I have heard this. Now, I've never done a hard drug in my life, but I've known quite a few. You can do crystal, you can do crack, you could do heroin that way, and you can do pills that way. So she could be taking her prescriptions and shooting them up to get a faster high or something like that because it absolutely does enhance the effects.
Okay. So, but that's what we heard. But I want you to listen to this guy.
What's up, man? I'm on live, so you're right.
I'll get some shit. You got a quick hit?
Do I got what?
You got a hit for like 10 minutes?
Dude, no.
You heard what he said? Do you have a hit for like 10 minutes? Did you hear that? Charlie, did you hear him? I don't know where she is.
Like, shut the fuck up, man.
I'm sorry. It just looked like someone hit you.
Somebody hit me in the face?
Yeah.
Dude, it's swelling. No, it's my blood pressure. It's my blood pressure from these fucking clowns on here, dude. My blood pressure goes through the fucking roof. My face is swelling up.
It's swelling up.
Dude, yeah. My face is swelling up from the live, from TikTok.
So it's TikTok's fault. It is TikTok's fault that her face is swelling up because TikTok isn't giving her money to feed her addiction. Girl, that was a spoon. Okay. Charlie, I don't know where you're at, but you're quiet.
Dude, I think I know who was in here and stole my shit and your shit. You know that dude Shane and his girlfriend? You said you don't know them, huh?
I don't, man.
Dude, they walked past when I was out there. Dude, a little kid got, no, that's mine. Get off. A little kid got fucking hit. A little kid got hit, dude. Did you see that?
Yeah, dude. I was
him saying somebody punched you. No, didn't I say right before he came, knocked on the fucking... Oh, God.
But that's her.
God, dude.
She looks horrible. That's Lisa.
That's so...
And I just can't take. I was trying to find the one where she was actually going off on people and how God is going to punish you and how God is going to do this. Oh, wait a minute. Is this it? Hold
like
on.
she can talk.
Dude, like I ain't even asking you for money to fucking help me.
Go,
I'm not even asking you.
Yep,
Shut up, bitch.
She had a hit.
Shut up, bitch.
Yep, that's what he said. But you can see somebody hit her.
From crying to shut up. Yep. You know what?
Shut up, bitch. Shut up,
you
bitch.
You can see somebody hit her.
dude. Like, I ain't even asking you for money to fucking help me. I'm not even asking you.
She is just totally disgusting. Just totally disgusting. Where is Kai? Let me see something. Because Kai actually cleans up her videos so you don't have to hear the
dirty language.
No, not the dirty language, but you don't have to with all the
background noise.
Yeah, that and her stopping.
Oh, okay. So she cuts out the broken internet problems.
Yes. Yes.
I don't get why people do this shit, dude. Like, I can't be in the fucking things all the time, man. I don't.
She cuts the dead air out.
Please get in the
Hi, Deborah.
Messages. Like, I'm so fucking mad right now. At a lot of different people.
She didn't cut this one out, but this is when she was completely.
At a lot of different people.
That's when she was going completely off.
Fuck with me, man. I'm tired of it. I'm so fucking tired of it, bro. Lisa 23XO.
Nobody said
I
that
need to get over there before
minutes.
Hanini leaves. What?
That's her. And this is people that actually give her money.
Down. Perfect. Perfect. Help, please, so I can calm the fuck down.
Yep, she said, I bet I do. She damn sure did. Somebody said, you're not getting anything. She goes, I bet I do. You want to bet? That's what she did. She doesn't get as much as she used to get, not at all. But she still gets money. I wanted the one when she's talking about the big Catholics and how you call yourselves fucking Catholics and God's going to punish all of you for not helping people. Is this the one where this bitch was going on?
Yeah. We only going to help people that actually need it, not someone who's trying to feed their drug addiction.
Shout out to the lady who had me go over. Oh, hello, gorgeous.
Hold on.
Made me say that.
Okay, here's they asking her about what she said about that woman, and she was like, "See, her internet is bad because she is in an abandoned house when she's doing this."
Shown? Are they shown?
She's in the trap.
Yep.
They called that a flop house. There's a bunch of those in certain neighborhoods. Basically,
And
all
that's
the drug
my
addicts
comfort
chilled
when
there.
I starve. Is knowing you are going to get fucking.
Yeah, I want the one when she was talking to us bad Catholics at, because we're not giving her food and we're not helping her eat, and she's dying, and God doesn't like us because we're not feeding her. Girl, and then she did the Our Father.
Pardon?
With a person like that, I wouldn't.
1,300.
My teacher.
Jesus would get on to me for giving her money.
Hopefully. We'll see. Asking me for a cash app. I get a cash app. They got a. Like I said, if you can't find it, the cream 1,300. So if you can help, I'd appreciate it. 1.2K. 1.2K. Yep, so I didn't get on yesterday because nobody's helping, and I'm not going to sit on here and do this. I'm not. So there goes your fucking entertainment, for real. Not doing it.
Ain't nobody paying you for entertainment. You ain't entertaining. Except for when we make
where's my
money.
poll at? Where's my
Ghostface,
poll?
that's Charlie sending love.
What the fuck is my poll at?
Look at her.
Oh my God. Where the fuck is it, bro? So mad right now.
I think she's funny.
If you send to it, I will thank you on here. That's all I'll do. So I think I'm just gonna mute, and if they help, I'll come back. If not, they.
Look how she looks. Look.
She's fun to laugh at, and she's.
And that's a filter. Okay, that's a filter.
Even with a filter, you look that bad. Even with a filter.
Yep.
And with filters, I look amazing.
Look.
Hold on, I'm going through a bunch of requests because people on here are assholes. So, like I said, I'll be back if you send something so I can go to the clinic. If not, we'll sit here. We'll sit here. We'll sit here.
No, and nobody's sitting there. But that's her. You need to get into TikTok. She is funny as shit when she starts going off. And hold on. So this is when she got busted.
If you don't care, ma'am, then get out of my
So
live.
she had people thinking
It's the
she was
stupidest
in
thing I've ever
Baltimore,
heard.
right?
Really, if you don't care, get out of the live. Scroll on. I don't really care. No, I don't have a Cash App, honey. Need shit. Okay, that's what I'm doing here. If I don't want to come on here or I don't need shit, I don't come on. You understand that, right?
She's been doing this.
You understand that? That's not a fucking
years.
game. My life ain't a game, ma'am. My life ain't a game, ma'am.
Ma'am.
It is a game. You're making it a game.
Nope, I don't have to. I have to listen to you, ma'am.
So what is
to listen to you? Anybody who sends, if you send and you want to see like what's going on here with me, you're more than welcome to. You're more than welcome to. I'm just not showing these clowns in the fucking chat trying to boss me around anything. So sorry, but if you guys want to, you can write in the PayPal. You can write in the Chime. You can write your email. I can email you if you don't want me to have your number. You want me to have your number? Put your number. I'll text you. I'll text you.
I wouldn't give that girl my number, my email.
Out here. I don't even want to be here anymore. I gotta sleep on the fucking street, seriously. I don't want to be here anymore. That fucking pissed me off. That. Oh, damn.
That's a filter. It's working overtime. She looks horrible, but that's Lisa. That's the bitch. And I like when she just starts screaming. So, Charlie, Lady Red did a really good video on her the other day. She combined 3 lives into one. So you need to go check that one out on Lady Red's channel.
And Lady Red does really good with that. And I will say that between that lady and the other crazy lady that y'all covered, the one who went to the pokey not long ago, the crazy one that lives with her mama, that woman is psycho.
Leticia?
Yeah, the crazy one.
She's not out. She's still in there.
She needs to be in there. She don't need to get out.
And then there's another one I need you to check out. Her name is Lori Jones. Oh my God, she's got like 3 little teeth, and she's like, I'm sorry, 4.5. She says she has 4.5 teeth, and yeah, that's another one you need to check out. She is really, really, really disgusting. But anyway, I am going to go. But these people are just crazy. Seriously. I do it for entertainment purposes. Okay. I watch. But then they have this, one lady called Boss Liar. Her name is Boss Lady. The other one is WTF. WTF was an escort. And then she has an OnlyFans page. And then she has a criminal record. Fund me so people can money for her to take people to court on TikTok. And then Boss Lady, they call her Boss Liar. To me, they're both trash. Okay, I don't like WTF. I don't like Boss Lady. They're liars. They're disgusting. They're both trash. So I don't like any of them. So she was an escort. She has an OnlyFans page, and then she calls herself trying to release a recording, but she released the wrong recording. She was given a man direction to come to her home so she can do her date at her home where her kids are. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I'm gonna say, you do not give anyone the address to where your children lay their heads, especially a perfect stranger that you don't know. What just so happens if that person is a serial, and then could be the P word, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're just inviting them into the home of your children and don't care what happens to them. You're more worried about your date and your content than your children.
But then she had the nerve to call Nicole. I forgot the name she called Nicole. But you wear 8 pounds of fucking makeup, bitch. and you got the nerve to talk about somebody's looks. Nicole doesn't come on with makeup on. You do. You got to put on 8 pounds of makeup before you leave your fucking house. I don't like the bitch. And anybody knows where I stand on TikTok. I don't like the bitch, and I said in any chat, I don't like you, bitch. I just don't. I don't like the one they call Raggedy T. She's got to jump up on everybody's fucking panel. Oh, I'm just going to come up for a minute. I just got this to say. And she's another one that used slurs that, and then she apologizes like that's going to make it all better. No, bitch. You keep making the same mistake over and over again. I don't like none of them bitches. None of them.
I would say this, like, anybody.
I'm sorry.
I don't like people like that myself. And I don't use disparaging words like that. But let's say I had to slip up and I said the R word, knowing the R word is one of my trigger words, right? Let's say I accidentally said, if you apologize for it once, you don't keep then doing it. That means you're not sorry at all. You know what I'm saying? If you continue to do the same thing over and over again, it shows you're not changing behavior. But I do have to go, Miss Heidi, in a minute. I got to go cook myself. I want to thank you for having me. And I had a amazing
go cook, girl.
I got to go cook. I'm going to make some chicken fajitas, girl. I'm going to make some chicken fajitas.
I don't know what I'm making today, but thank you for coming up. Well, I'm not even making. What am I talking about? Thank you for coming up. I really appreciate you, Charlie.
Huggies, Miss Heidi. I love you. You know I love
sweetie.
you. And I've missed you all week, and I can't wait till you're back from vacation.
I won't be back on a live in the mornings until probably tomorrow, and then I'll be out again. I said a week, but maybe a week and a half for morning live. So we'll have to see how this goes. But thank you.
We all love you, miss you, and huggies. Bye.
Okay, bye. Ghostface. I don't like Charlotte on the web. She's a goddamn thief too. I don't like her at all. I didn't know she covered Lisa. I didn't even think she was supposed to be back on YouTube because her channel got banned. So I've never liked her. She lied to her subscribers. She also took money from her subscribers under false pretenses. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. But this is the woman I was talking about. So this is Nicole Lynn. Okay. And this is what the fuck. Hold on. Where's she at? As she's driving with her kids in the car, there she goes. 8 pounds of makeup on her damn face.
Buzzard face cunt, Nicole. Going over there too. And any pictures that they have of Johnny, can you
call
Happy Friday?
A cunt.
Nobody's calling it for what it is. Like, sorry, I will. I most certainly will.
That's Nicole.
But here you go. Hold on.
She's not everybody's cup of tea at all. I like her. She's not everybody's cup of tea. I don't agree with a lot of shit she does. But you've got this bitch right here that's driving with her kids in the car, the escort, and the only
Hey y'all, happy Friday.
Real
quick guys, I need y'all to do something for me. I need y'all to go to Fuckface Falsifer's page and
Fuckface Falsifer is Boss Lady.
Fucking buzzard face cunt.
And she called Nicole a buzzard face cunt. But bitch, your eyes look crazy. You got a filter on plus 8 pounds of makeup. Okay? Okay, bitch? 8 pounds of makeup.
Going over there too. And any pictures that they have of Johnny, can you guys report the shit out of that? Report it for whatever you can. Privacy reasons, harassment, just whatever. Just report the fucking shit out of it.
Bitch that did the GoFundMe for $20,000 so people can help fund her attorney. And she's got all kind of criminal charges, and she's a felon for theft by deception, and she's on probation. Okay? And she's on probation. This is the bitch that you're going to trust to give money for some bullshit that you're still involved in. Okay? This piece of trash right here. Right there.
Both of them. Because they're both nasty, disgusting, vile cunts. And they don't need a fucking platform. Nobody needs to see or hear either one of those.
Neither nobody needs to see or hear you either, bitch. Okay? Either, bitch. I don't care what chat I'm in. If they bring up WTF, I type right in that damn chat. I don't like that bitch. Period. I don't like her.
Losers. But I hope the rest of you have a good Friday. Love y'all. Hey y'all.
Hey y'all. There's
Quiet.
Nicole.
And as for Miss fucking
crazy.
Margaret Party over there, talking about why didn't you drop these last week? Because he was supposed to come help me Sunday.
So they're fighting over this one guy called Mask Guy Johnny. Mask Guy Johnny just lost his mother. Mask Guy Johnny just unmasked himself, and he's nobody that I would fucking fight over, okay? I wouldn't fight over him. I wouldn't even be seen in public with him, okay? But they were fighting over this one guy because, well, not fighting. WTF, he was trying to get with WTF and Nicole, okay? And Nicole released all the messages that he had sent to her. So WTF, the escort, okay, and the OnlyFans bitch, she and Nicole, he was talking to Nicole. She and Mask Guy Johnny was supposed to be together, I guess, but he was talking to Nicole at the same time he's talking to WTF, and I was cracking the fuck up because when he unmasked himself, I'm like, what the fuck are we thinking trying to date this guy? Okay? Mask Guy Johnny is his name. And I was like, oh my God, are we desperate for a man? Are we that desperate for a man? But, you know, he came around. He was in everybody's chats. And hold on, this is Mask Guy Johnny. Hold on, let me show you Mask Guy Johnny. And then I gotta go. Oh, yeah, Lori is a piece of work. So this is Mask Guy Johnny. Hold on. I was supposed to be showing you Mask Guy Johnny, not Nicole. Ghostface, you really need to go over to TikTok. And I go into Outlaws. I go into Cliff Notes Anna. Nicole. So this is Mask Guy Johnny. Okay.
Hey Nicole. How's your mom doing? I remember a little while back she was in the hospital sick. I remember messaging you every day.
It was her daddy.
Because I know how hard it was having a sick mom and then out of the
That's
hospital.
Mask Guy Johnny, guys.
Sucks. It's hard.
Now he just lost his mother.
Talk about.
Okay, he just lost his mother, but that's the way he used to come on. But here we go.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? So it's been a rough couple of days, right? And I really don't want to deal with internet drama. I really don't. But I was just laying in bed, getting ready for bed, and yeah, saw some shit with Boss Lady. Got a bunch of my Facebook photos, and she was trying to unmask me. So before I let that happen, here we go. I know, probably not what you guys expected, but
damn sure didn't expect that, but that's Mask Guy Johnny. Okay. I thought Nicole had a boyfriend too. I don't know. But she was no, Nicole's not booed up, but he was talking to Nicole and he was talking to WTF. Okay, our Boss Lady, I take it, went on his Facebook page and got a bunch of his pictures and started putting them out there and saying she was going to unmask him. So before she unmasked him, he unmasked himself. Okay, now I don't know if Nicole or WTF ever saw what he looked like, but he was supposed to be helping Nicole a couple of weeks ago feed her community. But that's what they're doing over on TikTok, okay? So anyway, I'm waiting for Cliff Notes Anna. She was supposed to go live yesterday, but she didn't. Hopefully she or Outlaws go live today. I would do that. Leticia, Charlie, tomorrow or maybe later on, Charlie, if you're not doing anything, we can do a live later on and I can show you some of Leticia's stuff. But I was thinking about doing a live later on anyway. But anyway, I got to go now because I've got some stuff that I have to do. I have some people that are waiting for me. And I didn't mean to be on here this long at all. But I will. And as you guys were talking, I was actually getting dressed. Hi, Dreamsicle. I was actually putting clothes on and stuff. And I told Charlie I had to run out to go brush my teeth and everything else because I was drinking coffee. And I didn't mean to be on here this long. But they're sitting there look. Anyway, I gotta go. It depends on how everything goes today, or if I get back in time. But I'm thinking about coming live later on. But I really appreciate Cliff Notes, Anna. Yes, Ghostface. Hold on. I'm gonna put her link. Hold on a second. Let me go to TikTok real quick. Bye, Charlie. Hold on. Let me go to TikTok and let me get Cliff Notes, Anna's thing. Okay. So I can drop the link for you. Cliff Notes. Hold on. Cliff Notes. Anna. Hold on. I got to get user. Cliff Notes Anna. Hold on. Cliff Notes. I don't know if it's all one word or not. Okay, here we go. Cliff Notes Anna. I have her. I'm going to drop her link. And then once you follow Cliff Notes, you'll see Elise Nation. You'll see Outlaws. Those are the ladies that I follow. And then I just started following Mimi. So there we go. That's Cliff Notes Anna. All right. So I'm going to go. I appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Amber, I'm going to check on you in a few minutes. You guys have a great day. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Bye. Thank you for coming. Bye, guys. And I am out of here. I'm coming.